correct pronunciation. It is Italian, Northern Italian surname in that sort of Lower Austria area. And Riley Boyd, the first one to go, though, Trenton's teammate. So this is a good advantage for Lachlan to get into the slipstream here in second position. Reminder, they're racing for 7th place overall. The big final is up next for the medals.
Looking for an opportunity to get on the wheel, couldn't really get
1.5 laps to go. 2 Queenslanders at the back, Fisk and Mullins. South Australian Grierson looking for somewhere to go as they come to the bell. And Boyd powering through. Trenton in second position, just covering the back wheel there of his teammate. Down the back straight and underneath, you see one of the Queenslanders trying to get through. No room there to go through, though. So strong ride from Boyd. Riley Boyd will pick up 7th place in the under-19 men's, Keirin. Under-19s, but they're all big, tall lads.
They are. That was a really clean Keirin. Sometimes we see the elbows go out, the errant headbutt every now and again, albeit they're not allowed to do that, but sometimes they do. But a lot of really respectful riding happening there.
It was a strong performance from Riley Boyd. 2.5 to go, straight around to the front and then held on all the way to the end to finish in 7th place. We see the riders now coming up onto the track. This is the top 6 that have made their way through the rounds. And that leaves us with 3 Queenslanders in this one. Will Emulus, Sebastian Topping and George Tucker. 1 South Australian in this one is Mitchell Stevens. And then there's Ben Woods from Victoria and Cooper Dunlop from Western Australia.
And the big standouts here in terms of pure speed and performance we've seen this week. Mitchell Stevens from South Australia was 2nd in the individual sprint. Sebastian Topping was 3rd. Will Emulus qualified 4th, so he's got a really good turn of speed. But we've got 4 from Queensland. 3 from Queensland, Will Emulus, Sebastian Topping and George Tucker. Mitchell Stevens from South Australia, wedged in the middle there. He was our top performer in the sprint out of this group. The winner, Angus Withington, did not make it to this point. Keirin's one of the most exciting races because if you've got every expert to write down what could happen, you may well end up with a result different to what everybody predicts.
So it's Mitchell Stevens down the bottom of the track. Cooper Dunlop, Western Australia, 2nd position. South Australian is Mitchell Stevens, sorry. That's Mitchell Stevens down in the South Australian 3rd position. So they get underway. Emulus, Topping, Tucker, Stevens, Woods and Dunlop. Under 19, Keirin final. Race for gold is on.
And it is a waiting game. The first 3 laps, the motorbike slowly builds up to 50 kilometres an hour. And when they peel off, well, it's all on. But before that, no rider can advance even a millimetre beyond the rear tyre of the Derny. We have seen it happen at Olympic Games before, so it's not something that is just inexperience.
Queensland Cycling Club.
But the under-19 is still very much learning the craft.
So Sebastian Topping, Queenslander, 1st position behind the bike. Then it's Dunlop, Stevens from South Australia in the red colours. Emulus from Queensland, position 4, bike comes off this time. Victorian at the very back is Ben Woods, and it's 3 laps to go. Topping still there in 1st position, but it's the West Australian Dunlop that wants to go over. And now for Topping, he has to be careful, boxed in underneath.
It's not a good position to be in, especially because if Dunlop starts to fade, he's got nowhere to go.
George Tucker, the big Queenslander, comes right around the outside. This is really good for Dunlop, though, because he's in the slipstream, 2nd position. And Stevens, the South Australian, has been squeezed out to the back. So Tucker comes through with a lap to go. Then it's Dunlop in 2nd position. Great spot for him if he can come over the top of the big Queenslander. Here he comes. Plenty of support for the Queenslanders, but it's the Western Australian Cooper Dunlop that's going to get to the line first. Gold goes to Dunlop. Brilliant ride from the Western Australian. Sensational performance from him. Sebastian Topping comes around to finish in second, and it was George Tucker who went early, the Queenslander, that gets the bronze medal.
Ladies and gentlemen, show your appreciation for our
So it just shows, you talk about pure speed, Kate Stevens, the fastest on paper, but boxed in, nowhere to go. And that's the nature of the Keirin. That's why we love it so much.
Oh, certainly. And Tucker and Dunlop have been riding endurance events here.
Yeah.
So they, at this age, a lot of the riders are yet to really specialise. You have some that are clear, fast muscle fibres, fast twitch sprinters. Cooper Dunlop, he's enjoying that.
The bronze medal going to, they've switched it. It's Will Emulus that gets the bronze medal. So Dunlop, Topping and Emulus. Two Queenslanders, but it's a Western Australian that leads them home. Made the commitment. Got himself first position, and then he was benefited by George Tucker going over the top early. Held second position in the slipstream, deep breath, saved some energy, and then went whack just at the right time, stepping out down the back straight. So comfortable win from Cooper Dunlop from Western Australia. That was the under-19 men's Keirin. It is a festival of Keirins tonight. We have the elite men and women's Keirin second round and finals still to come.
Okay, I love Keirins. They're one of my favourite events because in the under-19s, you do get this wonderful mix of endurance riders and sprinters. But even when we look at our real specialists in the elite men and women, still anything can happen. And at the World Cup in Perth a couple of weeks ago, Scott, the 7th to 12th ride-off in the women in particular had an Olympic champion, a world champion, a World Cup champion, an 8-time world champion, and that was the B final. And of course, Alessia McCaig from Australia got her first World Cup win taking that.
So the next event on the track is the Para C1 to C5 team sprint. It's the race for gold start list in the home straight. We're calling Australia Green. They'll be racing against Australia Gold. Two green and gold teams from the Para programs. Erin Normoyle, Gordon Allen and Corey Boddington. So you see a couple of rainbow striped skid suits here. Erin Normoyle, world champion, also Gordon Allen. And in the back straight, Tara Naylan, Matthew Gray and Kyle Willis. So a combination of different states, putting the two teams together to make two mixed teams, Australia Green versus Australia Gold. And selection for Para World Championships and Commonwealth Games very much at play here. So Normoyle versus Naylan to get things going. Love seeing the rainbow bands on the track representing world champions.
They look resplendent, don't they? What a pleasure it is. And what an incredible group of athletes we have. We've seen a number of team sprints this week, so 3 laps. Each rider just does 1 lap. And then they swing off.
Really tight between them both. First riders have gone off. It's now Allen versus Gray, the second lap. And still really tight to call here. Does look like the gold team has the advantage, but Corey Boddington now has been unleashed for Australia Green up against Kyle Willis. And Boddington, a Paralympic champion, absolute superstar of para sports, and he is blasting around the track. So it is Australia Green, led home by Corey Boddington, that gets the win.
Oh, sensational ride. And when there is things on the line like qualification, it's in and of itself, it's such an incredible moment to become a national champion, but it holds that little bit more weight and pressure when they know what comes next. And for anybody who hasn't seen Changing Track, can I so highly recommend going to see that and making sure the family watch it too. It's a really engaging documentary about our para team and their journeys and their stories. I took my kids to watch it, and they were just absolutely blown away. They came away with some very fun facts, some did you knows. And my daughter's here tonight, and I've just sent my mum a text to make sure she knew that Corey Boddington was racing, because she was just so excited to be able to watch him race. And we've got Jessica Gallagher in the front straight now. Rainbow jerseys.
Yes, Jess Gallagher. Her pilot is Mingla Moore. And then we see Bo Wooten coming up onto the track as well. So it's the Para B Tandem Sprint. Just the one combination.
So Jess Gallagher, I mean, gosh, she's incredible. She's a summer Olympian, a winter Olympian. She's a commentator for the Winter Olympics and the Summer Paralympics as well. Like, just such an incredible human being, incredible role model, and incidentally, an incredible cyclist.
Two different summer sports as well. So, yep, she's done it all. Jess Gallagher and Bo Wooten on the back of the South Australian skin-suited tandem, with Byron Davies as the pilot, Jackie Mangler-Moore doing the pilot role for Jess Gallagher. So much coordination it takes to get a tandem from a standing start up to full speed. All about rhythm as well, just making sure you're just hitting the downstroke perfectly in sync.
And you can see the grimace on their face. Jackie Mangler-Moore, she has won medals at the Elite Championships in her own right. It's just incredible, as is Byron Davies. He's been the Australian killer metre champion.
And he is now pushing through with Bo Wooten in second position as the ladies swing up, move out of the way for the men to come through, and they'll finish this one off super quickly. And a 49.182.
One of the best
Great
I've
time.
ever seen of the team sprint tandem pairing. Superb ride.
When they used to have, in the able-bodied World Championships and Olympic Games, tandem racing, they would double the length of each of the events they were in. They had a 1,000-metre time trial was still the same, but the sprints, the individual sprint match racing was twice as long, so they had much more time to build up to speed. And it's so much more difficult now in this sort of discipline to be able to coordinate it in such a short distance.
Oh, it truly is such entertaining and interesting racing. The match sprinting with tandem, most things, if you've ridden a bike, you can watch it and think, I could at least imagine myself doing that. I cannot imagine. I haven't been on a tandem before. I'd love to do it, but
I haven't.
But it would be terrifying.
Yeah, well, Shane Kelly, the very famous kilometre time trial rider, sprinter, now coach of the Victorian Institute of Sport, has been for a long time. He's offered to get me out on the tandem years ago, and I refused immediately. No thanks, Shane. I've raced against him in normal races. I know how crazy he can be. I'm not going to let him have control of my life.
It is a little bit like that. Oh, there he is. He just flashed onto screen for a moment.
Yep, still haunting me. So we're into the Elite Women's Keirins now. This is round 2. And the top 3 from each of these 2 races will go into the race for the medals. We'll have 3 Queenslanders in this one: Ella Liang, Molly McGill and Christina Clonan, back at the championships after injury break. So didn't race last year. So she's had a lot of time off the bike, so it'd be really interesting to see just how well Christina Clonan is travelling. And then 2 Victorians, Imogen Gelbart and the defending champion, Alessia McCaig. And from Western Australia, Christine Perkins, the oldest in the field, has a gold medal from the team sprint upset victory in the team sprint for Western Australia over Queensland. So Perkins on good form as well. She lines up down at the bottom of the track. So Liang beside her, then it's McCaig, Clonan, Gelbart, and then at the top of the track is Molly McGill.
This is such an incredibly stacked heat. So the top 3 go straight to the final. 4th to 6th go into the 7th to 12th. Ella Liang in particular, a very good kilometre time trial rider. She got a bronze medal in that event at these championships, broke a junior world record, set a junior world record in the event last year. So she'll be quite happy if it is fast for as long as possible once that bike swings off.
What an age difference though. Perkins, 40 yeah? 42 is of age, and Ella Liang hasn't turned 20 yet, I don't think, has she? Sitting in second position behind her. And then it's McCaig, won the sprint yesterday in sensational form. She's the defending champion in this discipline as well as she was in the sprint last night. Then it's Christina Clonan back on the boards again. So this is the fascinating one. She has been our fastest sprinter over the last couple of years. McCaig now is going just a little bit quicker than Clonan. Then it's Imogen Gelbart, second last position, a 32-year-old that's had a 13-year hiatus from the sport. 4th in the sprint, and very back there is Molly McGill. Bike comes off, 3 to go.
Well, Gelbart, I think, is the most unpredictable because she's just been sensational this week and strategically incredible. McCaig, we know, is on great form, but there certainly is a combination of riders that will be... They'll know they'll make the final if they get it right. Ella Liang is the first to move. She needs it to be fast for these final 2 laps to give herself any chance.
McCaig now moves. Christine Perkins was hoping to stay in second position, but now being swamped. Clonan comes over as well. Gelbart also. First 3 to go through to the final. McCaig in control. Just half throttle as she goes down the back straight. Now Clonan steps out as well. Gelbart underneath, nowhere to go. She fights off McGill on the outside. She'll go through. So McCaig, Clonan and Gelbart, they are the 3 that go through to the final. McGill, Liang and Perkins missing out. They'll go to the race in the 7th final.
Oh, that was a sensational ride, clean and easy by McCaig. Gelbart, she really is just making good decisions. You know, she followed McCaig, used so little energy in making her way to the final. Clonan similarly rode a smart race. She's a little bit fresher, a bit of a fresher horse than the athletes that were in the long sprint competition that only wrapped up last night. McCaig, the winner there, ahead of Danica Blinko. Blinko lining up in round 2. Got 3 Queenslanders in the next round. Danica Blinko, Emma Stevens and Sophie Watts. Brianna Hargrave from South Australia and Chloe Moran from South Australia, a former team's pursuiter now. Moving into the sprint area, Lilia Tatarinov from Western Australia. But I learnt last night you can be a member of 2 different AusCycling clubs, should you wish. So she's a member of a club in WA for the benefits of racing for WA and living in Perth. But she maintains her membership of the Central Coast Cycling Club, which is where she did all her development. So I think that's really wonderful that she's able to do that.
So Danica Blinko at the bottom of the track. It's Chloe Moran, second position. Tatarinov, then Hargrave. Sophie Watts, second from the very top, and now just drifting into last position there is Emma Stevens. Now, I just had a quick chat to Brie Hargrave before. Her 20-month-old son, Xavier, fell out of the cot just yesterday, bit of a black eye.
Yikes.
So she's not too happy with grandpa at the moment. Has to focus on the sprint here though. Keirin, top 3 to go through. So Blinko, second in the Keirin last year, second in the sprint last night. So medal-winning form for Danica Blincoe.
Available. Come through this time. 4 laps to go. Paul Jackson doing a fantastic job.
I love to say on paper because we know how fast they are from sprint qualifyings and such. On paper, you'd say Blincoe and Tatarinov are the hot favourites coming in here, but Brie Hargrave was 4th in the kilometre time trial, so we know she can ride a long race, as can Chloe Moran, having switched from endurance.
Well, the bike has come off. They've sprung right out. First to move, Stevens. White helmet. Sophie Watts just covering that a little bit. So Chloe Moran now goes. Now Moran, she needs a long sprint. She's the one out there that's not a pure sprinter. So the longer it is, the better it is for Chloe Moran. So she goes to the front, 3 wide. Tatarinov in the box position here, showing some real courage to squeeze through the middle. 1 lap to go, and it's Chloe Moran out of the saddle once again. First 3 to go through to the final. Tatarinov in second position. Blincoe underneath, looking for the gap. There it is. She's opened the door. She'll go through to the final. Smart riding from her. But Moran will get to the line first. She's through. Then it's Blincoe and Lilia Tatarinov. They are the 3 going into the final.
Fantastic ride from Chloe Moran. Also very fresh this week. This is the first we've seen of her out on track. Predictable that Tatarinov and Blincoe, just with the pure amount of speed that they carry into this competition. Brie Hargrave, I'm a bit disappointed for her because I know how hard she works and how talented she is. But she shouldn't be disappointed in herself. She's just done an incredible job. And I have to say that things have changed in the women's competition when 3 of the riders that we've seen in these last 2 rounds heading toward a medal final are mums. It's something that even a couple of years ago was not possible to be an elite athlete and a mum at the same time. What an incredible progression in the sport that can happen. And of course that's Imogen Gelbar, Christine Perkins and Brianna Hargrave. So sensational for the young ladies that are watching and for the young men.
Into the next, Keirin, the elite men this time. Second round for them, first heat. Xavier Bland, Byron Davies, Tate Ryan, James Brister, Lee Hoffman and Sam Gallagher. So the Victorian Sam Gallagher in the middle, being held up by Shane Kelly. Good coaching staff down there. Brett Aiken with the bald noggin, Olympic gold medalist. He's got Olympic silver and bronzes to his name, former world champion as well. And he has Tate Ryan, who was 3rd last year, Tate Ryan. On top of the track is Lee Hoffman. And
it's Rowan Wright holding him. He was a very good teams pursuiter.
Actually, no, sorry, Lee's down the bottom of the track. That's Brister at the very top. So Hoffman was 2nd in this last year. We saw how fast he was last night winning the men's sprint. Keirin can be a little bit different.
The motorbike is on its way.
Xavier Bland from New South Wales in 2nd position. So Hoffman will be the first to the bike.
It was Danny Barber who took the gold last year. We'll see him in the next round. Lee Hoffman 2nd, Tate Ryan was 3rd. Noah Mason 4th. We'll see him in the next round as well. Byron Davies has a warning against his name. He's been a naughty boy. He needs to be careful. 2 warnings and you're not just out of the race, you're out of the entire championships. Although in saying that, I'm not sure there's any event that he'll be doing other than this. But he's a respectful rider. That would not have been purposeful for him.
Come around to get 4 to go. 1 more lap until the bike comes off the track. Lee Hoffman leads the way, the South Australian. Sitting behind him from New South Wales, Xavier, not wanting to be bland, if he can make his way through. Then it's Sam Gallagher, the Victorian. We always enjoy commentating Sam, really crafty rider. And he's looking over his shoulder as the bike comes off, making sure there's no flyers from behind, gives himself a little bit of room to move. Now he closes up on the wheel of Bland because Hoffman doesn't want to go too soon. So Davies goes first, Tate Ryan comes after him, and now Hoffman, you can see out of the seat, fighting to get into a good position. Ryan's been forced to go right to the very front. So Ryan, then it's Davies, then Hoffman, then Bland, Gallagher and Brister at the back.
Well, Ryan comfortable in a long race, and he's certainly made sure he's been the force behind that.
Gallagher, too wide, trying to come around. Now Lee Hoffman steps out. Top 3 to go through to the final. Hoffman will do that. Ryan gets passed by 2 riders here, so he'll have to fight to stay on. Hoffman, Gallagher and Ryan. They are the 3 that go through to the final.
Now, Ryan held on, but very nearly Xavier Bland was progressing through. He put himself in a good position by going so early, and I think we've seen him each day get to the end of the session quite fatigued and then come back the next day and really put that aside and progress again. But sometimes that's the difference between some of the younger and the more experienced riders. It's not actually pure speed. It's the ability to back up, not just through the rounds, but the different days and the different events. So Lee Hoffman, a sensational win from him. Sam Gallagher, we've been commentating on him for years, and every year we've ever commentated on him, we've said what a fun rider he is to watch.
Well, he's made it into another final.
He's kind of spicy, like he's quite brave in the way that he rides, and he always animates.
Tactically, very smart rider Gallagher made his way into the final once again, along with Tate Ryan and Lee Hoffman. 3 riders to join them, including Daniel Barber, the defending champion. He's from New South Wales, coming up onto the track. Noah Mason, also from New South. Ryan Elliott, one of 2 Queenslanders in this one. Mitchell Louis is the other. Finn Carpenter from Western Australia, and also Flynn Underwood.
Ryan Elliott, number 14, the Queenslander.
Underwood in the multicoloured skin suit in the middle.
The WA colours, we have Finn.
Well, Mitchell Louis, one of the 2 Queenslanders, he won this for the junior men 19 last year. So excellent progression from a very young rider.
So second from the bottom there. That's the defending champion, Danny Barber. Proudly coming from Dubbo in New South Wales. Briefly spoke to his father last night, and I said, in my head, I did want to say a different New South Wales country town.
From, you wanted to say Orange, didn't you? But you said Dubbo.
I was going to say Tenterfield, and from Broken Hill, Danny Barber. And it was an in-joke just with me and the family, but I thought I'll get inundated with people saying, he's not from Broken Hill, he's from Dubbo.
It could be from Oodnadatta. There's some wonderfully funny place names in New South Wales we could choose from.
Coonabarra brand.
Oh, yes.
So Ryan Elliott is on the motorcycle. His national team sprint teammate in Danny Barber in the New South Wales colours behind him. Then it's Flynn Underwood in the multicoloured kit. Behind him, the one sole Western Australian Finn Carpenter. Noah Mason with the red helmet, New South Wales skin suit, and Mitchell Louis up in from the under-19s to the elites now.
So Barber, the winner from last year, knows what he's doing. Noah Mason and Ryan Elliott both made their way into the final last year.
So bike comes off. Louis happy to go right to the front, and I can tell you Ryan Elliott, he was happy with this situation as well. He slips into third wheel, Louis into second. Big question now being put to Danny Barber, the defending champion. Here comes Carpenter right from the very back, but the pace is on out in front with Mason. Now the acceleration from Ryan Elliott. He's taking Barber with him. Carpenter stuck right out the back there, and as they come to the bell, it'll be Ryan Elliott. Then it's Danny Barber. Carpenter trying to come past Mason. He gets past. It looks like it'll be those 3 with half a lap to go that'll go into the final. Fast legs of the Queenslander Ryan Elliott. Danny Barber, the defending champ, has another crack at winning gold back-to-back. We'll have to wait for that later tonight. And they are joined by Finn Carpenter from Western Australia.
Great ride from Carpenter. He just followed the smart wheels. He was second in the time trial at last year's, in the kilometre time trial at last year's national championship. So we know that he's got some good sprint form and some good legs. He rode a 102.3 to be able to do that. Different styles come into these Keirin races. Some of them are the very fast sprinters who hope the sprint starts as late as possible. Others lean more toward the kilometre kind of riders, and they love when the moment the bike comes off, the pace goes up.
Danny Barber will be happy. Didn't really have to do too much there. Just followed Ryan Elliott all the way around. Didn't need to do more than that. Finish in the top 3, so he gets to save a little bit of energy as he goes towards the final. It's a big week for all of the riders, but in particular, I do think about the sprinters. Not that I was one, but I know that in terms of endurance, every effort they do on the track on these huge gears they ride now is such a maximum effort. It's hard to go and back it up day after day after day. So they're getting tired. Another big Keirin final to come tonight. Fastest Australian cyclists on the boards here in Brisbane. And a bit of a treat now for us as well, because we have a couple of junior races tonight on the program. We'll start with the women's under-17 scratch race. And they did have to do qualifying races this afternoon, so 23 riders in this one. And I will put it out there, Kate. First time for a long time, especially at the national championships, that I've got to commentate the under-17s.
Oh, I love it, and especially in the under-17 women, because I see the name Sophia Moffat from South Australia. Now, she's the daughter of Graham Moffat, who was my first boss in the cycling industry at Trek Australia. So
he was here 5 minutes ago.
He was. He still works in the industry.
Pond Sports, importers of Cervelo frames,
yes,
amongst other things.
And very big supporters of the Brennan team in Pro Velo.
Flying on a high at the moment after the Brennan team won the Pro Velo Super League overall.
Yeah, and I just find it quite cool when, especially characters and figures that have been in the industry for such a long time, when their kids, pop up in these races. So that's great. Now, Madeline Douglas-Smith, we haven't seen a lot of these riders before, but Madeline Douglas-Savage, we've seen her before because she rode in the under-19 women's team sprint at third wheel, very nearly got a medal. Unbelievable ride. The poor thing, when she was dropped off with a lap to go on under-17 gearing, looked like she may just pedal her legs entirely off. But that showed a huge amount of tenacity. So 23 riders, they've got 30 laps, so 7.5 kilometres. The winner will be the first rider across the line. It's as simple as that. And when there's a field this big, positioning matters so much. Personally, I would not go further back than about 10th wheel in a bunch this size in a scratch race, because it doesn't matter how good your legs are or what your intentions are. It's very difficult to be able to react when you're so far back.
And speaking of wheels, you will notice there are no disc wheels in this one. The under-17s are not allowed to have disc wheels. That keeps the cost down. And
they're also on restricted gears, so you'll notice that they're all pedaling at the same speed. In the under-19 and elite races, we often refer to some riders on a much heavier gear, which is to say that they pedal slower per lap, less pedal strokes per lap, and harder to accelerate on, but better when at top speed. But it's evened out for the juniors, and Scott, that's because they don't want 15-year-olds training on massive gears and really potentially injuring themselves. They want them to learn the craft of racing, the craft of pedaling. I think it's a good regulation, albeit frustrating sometimes for some of the riders who wish they had a few gears to click down.
Well, just with the different ways they develop as well, so those riders that may have been matured much earlier have a huge advantage. They are allowed to push bigger gears. They've got the extra strength, so it does sort of even up the field somewhat, and they are all bunched up. So no speed on at all. 26 laps to go. They'll come around for 25 now as it clicks over.
And if you see rider number 121, that's Lucy Wilson from Victoria. I'm pointing her out. She's at the very top at the back here. The reason I point her out is because she's riding a lot further per lap, and cumulatively she'll be riding about 8 kilometres instead of 7.5 versus the riders on the front. So that's a little bit of experience, and this is the only way the riders gain that experience. Hannah Walters from Queensland, she's the first to really put the pressure on. Her older brother Lockie Walters, we've seen him on the podium this week.
3 Queenslanders after that acceleration. The next 2 very short turns as they come to 23 laps to go. Torres Schmidt from the ACT was the next to go through and up. And look at the Queenslanders right at the very top. So a big attack coming here. They had almost 7 laps of cruising around all bunched up, and now they'll really string out. So Ava Robbins it is that flies around.
Oh, and she has an incredible result sheet for her age. She is just such a sensational rider. But you'll notice that when they're on the restricted gears, it's a lot harder to get breakaways because there really is a cap on how fast they can pedal.
Sienna Goulding it is, the second of the Queenslanders there, that shut that one down. And Robbins keen to go again. Drops down the bottom of the track.
So 20 laps to go, 10 laps already raced. Another 5 kilometres left. It's a reasonably short race in time, but for their age, they're still really... It feels like it will be a little bit longer for these athletes. Very impressed with the skills. It's a very tight bunch with 23 riders, and everybody's handling themselves exceptionally well.
Well, we saw that attack from Hannah Walters, and just looking through the field there, it does look like she's the only one with the full aero type of helmet, and that's going to be banned from bunch races next year. So the aero helmets do cover the ears. You're not allowed to have any helmet covering the ears in bunch races going forward, and they must have 3 vents. One of the regulation changes.
I mean, sometimes I think the UCI regulates just so that somebody in their policy division keeps a job, because while I love tradition and I love normal helmets, being the ear must be visible is just flat out a strange regulation. And that's Lucy Wilson from Victoria, who's next to move. That was the rider that I pointed out at the very top, at the very back. So I'm glad to see that she's taking the more efficient route for now.
So many nervous parents in the Meares Velodrome here tonight. First time we've seen the under-17s in the evening program. Mums and dads, brothers and sisters here packing the stadium. The kids on the track completely oblivious to that. So a stretching of the main field now. 15 laps to go.
The favourite in this race would have to be Ava Robbins. She's just had an incredible result sheet from Balmoral Cycling Club, and she was one of the first mother-daughter combinations to both win gold medals at a national track championship. So mother Jackie Manglemore we saw earlier on the track with Jess Gallagher in the tandem.
Nicola Morris it is. So now 2 riders off the front. Can they work well together? Yep, drops into second position, so Peloton with a little bit of work to do if they want to try and bring this one back. At 13 laps to go. Zoe May from New South Wales and Nicola Morris.
And it's a hard ask on the restricted gear to stay away. But equally, if a gap does open up, it's a hard ask to chase because there's a speed cap on what you can do.
Robbins it is that's leading the peloton. So she just swings up off the front there. But it was Robbins that created that acceleration that shut that move down. I'll come around to get 10 laps to go. Oh, it's 11. So 11 to go. Morris it is that's just off the front ever so slightly, but that won't be dangerous.
Well, she's determined. There's going to be a number of riders in this group who are confident that if it comes down to a big bunch, that they can not only handle the position, but maybe they have the speed. But there'll be a number of riders who know they're strong and powerful and capable but not necessarily in a 23 up sprint. They'll be wanting any advantage to try and escape. It is small, but it remains. And the peloton are not eagerly chasing. They are still down the track. The speed hasn't been wiped off entirely. But Nicola Morris, with 9 laps to go, is still holding about a 60-metre advantage. This is definitely what we call the business end of the race, and if you are not in the top 10 at this point with 8 laps to go, you're seriously running out of time to get there. So a little bit of a shuffle within the group of 23.
Evelyn Power from the ACT swings up. And you were just taking a sip of a drink, Kate, so I didn't want to throw in a dad joke for Power.
Oh, and make me laugh.
She just sits on the outside there, 3rd position, 2nd position now, but just sitting there waiting to pounce.
So 110 from Queensland is arguably the favourite. 109 from Queensland, Maddie Douglas-Savage. We've seen what she is capable of over 750 metres. So Team Queensland, and they are back-to-back as well, 109, 110, Douglas-Savage and Ava Robbins.
So it's Elsie Vaughan at the bottom of the track, looking high up the track at the other riders. If they do decide to make a move, she will get swamped down the bottom. They'll come around to get 5 laps to go. Very, very high on the track. Those riders right up top now at this speed have a big advantage when they do want to start the acceleration. It's a long way on a small gear to sprint from this far, so they are waiting for that optimal time to unleash the beast.
Well, you don't want to go too early, but you certainly don't want to leave it too late. The most critical thing, especially when on limited gears, is positioning. And the winner will come when they're at top speed. There's very little you can do on a limited gear. The winner will come from the top 5 or 6 riders, and that's why you can see it so hectic bunched here.
Jenna Gallagher is right there for New South Wales, also Zoe May. So there are those 2 New South Wales riders there, sitting 2nd, 3rd position high on the track. 3 laps to go now. They have to start thinking about this sprint. Nobody wants to go too soon. They're saving their energy, but they have to get ready to go. Isla Shaw it is that just gets her nose out in front for Victoria.
But she hasn't committed, and so the door is still open for New South Wales and Elsie Vaughan from Queensland.
2 to go now, and here comes the big move. Finally, we've seen one. Sienna Tinkler from Western Australia absolutely powers off the front. Ava Robbins, the Queenslander, pre-race favourite perhaps. Well, she's showing it now because she's into 2nd position. She's gone straight up onto the back wheel of Tinkler, and she's going to go past. Fight round the final lap here. It's going to be really tough. She's hung up on the outside though. Super good ride here from Tinkler on the inside. Robbins it is that now gets out in front. The small gears, the high cadence, twiddling it all the way down to the finish, and Robbins will get there. So Ava Robbins from Queensland gets over the top of Sienna Tinkler. What an arm wrestle of a final lap that was.
It looked like Ava Gidget-Rogers from Western Australia took the bronze. We'll get confirmation there. Unfortunately, there was a crash at the back. Very hectic, but the riders will get some medical attention. And Ava Robbins, holy moly, that cadence. I want to ask the video analysis to just put that in slow-mo and count the cadence for us. We can calculate it based off they can calculate it based off the speed and the gear ratio.
They'll all be wearing the Aero helmets for the next race, that's for sure.
My goodness.
That's what, first across the line with the Aero lid, Ava Robbins. A great race that was. That final lap was sensational. Sienna Tinkler went early, opened up a little gap, and then side by side the whole way around.
So these are 14, 15, maybe 16-year-olds in this category. They've just averaged 43.3 kilometres an hour for that scratch race. It's really...
It's about 200.
Yeah, it's really quite remarkable.
Between Sienna Tinkler and Robbins as they went across the line. think Tima on second. The Rogers with
So just waiting for that final confirmation of the minor placings. We do know Ava Robbins definitely across the line first. 2 Western Australians right there. Gidget Rogers and Tinkler. And this was almost the winning move. Robbins paying close attention though. Right down to the line. Tinkler in second with Gidget Rogers definitely finishing there in third. So the 2 West Australians doing a really good job. And Ava Robbins fighting over the top. Good 5 wide coming down the finishing straight. You can see how important positioning on those small, tiny gears is to have a real chance to go for the medals.
And so our riders are all conscious and chatting. They're just waiting until they can all be assessed before they move, and that is standard protocol. So Ava Robbins, another gold medal for her. We saw her winning gold here last year, and this is the first race of the championship for her. I think we'll see her go on to win a lot more at a lot of different age levels. So well done to her and to all 23 riders out on track. So you can see they're receiving medical attention, and they'll be on their feet when they've just comfortable and confirmation that they're good to move. And the technical team, if you bottom right of screen, you can see Commissaire, our Chief Commissaire Tony Tor. Good to see Maya Torres-Schmidt up on her feet, chatting to her family in the crowd, saying I'm all right, giving them a little bit of reassurance, which is good. And she's got a smile on her face, which makes me happy. But the technical team are out on track, and what they're doing is they're checking the track for any splinters, any dings, and it usually happens from the edge of a handlebar. A pedal can cut in, or a wheel nut as well, although they tend to be lower profile now, so that's less of a thing.
Well, the kids tend to bend, not break as much as we do if we touch down.
Yeah, that's right.
Still do have 2 riders.
Certainly
They're looking okay, I must say, just taking the shoes off over there, so perhaps a collarbone,
it's
which
just
is typical.
It's an abundance of caution that they keep them on the track side until they've just made sure. But it's very good to see them getting back to their feet.
Power, I think it is.
It is,
power.
yep. So that's great. And Lucy Wilson. And there's our technical team, Tony Tor in the blue. He's our Chief Commissaire. The track, a few little repairs. Usually they get the sandpaper out and a bit of gaffer tape.
Pat Curling is our master craftsman when it comes to track repair.
Ladies and gentlemen, just a polite round of applause for our riders.
Curling with the K. We've got Winter Olympics on our minds.
Oh, I love curling. Don't get me started on that. When the juniors were riding, we were talking about the cost of equipment, gear ratios. Looks like perhaps a concern around the collarbone with the
standard cycling injury.
It is. It's
Laurie Norris, the manager of the Victorian team for the juniors, as he has been for so many years, really looking after the young kids as they come through. So he's seen it all before. He'll know how to comfort the riders that have crashed.
It's a bit of a rite of passage, the old collarbone in cycling.
I only did mine once.
Why?
Unusual.
I'm going to touch wood. I never did mine, but I did lots of other bones and joints instead. But so the juniors are on restricted gears. We talked about that from a physical development point of view, but also from a cost point of view. No disc wheels. You want to make sure it's accessible. What I have just been told, I love good fun facts, is that all of the state skin suits, you might notice they all look fairly similar. They've made sure that all of the states have accessibly priced skin suits as well, and they know that some the fabrics, the very high-tech fabrics, can cost a lot of money and can give quite a big advantage. So they're making sure that no riders can get that advantage over another to even the playing field. I think that's sensational. I actually didn't know that they were doing that, but I think that that's a really great idea, just to make sure it is accessible. I mean, I think that's the biggest word. You want the sport to be able to have as many participants as possible.
Now, we're not looking at the local council fixing a pothole with a ratio of 1 to 1. One person working, one person watching. 2 people watching here, 1 person working. Much more like your local council. Not here in Brisbane, of course.
Oh, I must say, no, in Brisbane there's an app and you can ask them to plant a tree or do a pothole and they'll be out the next day. It's pretty good.
Well, I did live during COVID in northern New South Wales, Twin Rivers, up there, Tweed Valley area, and I only say it because it's the facts. Anyone that's been down there knows it is pothole heaven down there if you're into potholes. So Pat doing a good job.
He could get a job with Brisbane City Council team at this rate. So what we're seeing, this is the sandpaper we talked about. So he runs his hand across to see if there's anything sticking up, because that can cause flat tyres, and also if there is another crash and you slide and there's even micro spikes of timber, well, that's when you get splinters.
Nothing like rubbing your hand across the wood to get splinters to find out if there are any splinters.
That's right.
No, it looks nice and smooth at the moment. Doing a good job. You can see all the other little marks from all the crashes that have happened. And of course, once we get to 2032 for the Olympic Games, 2 things they can do is just build a new track in here, or just do the full sanding down, as they often do. Sand the whole track down. It's a huge job, as you can imagine, but it comes back looking absolutely brand new. And
that's what it'll do. And I believe, Scott, that everyone in a cycling club in Brisbane will be asked to go to Bunnings, buy a piece of sandpaper and come down and take responsibility for a section of the track. It'll be done in a day. There's some DJ vibes going on in here, which is cool.
Slice of heaven. Kiwi theme at the Australian National Championships. Not sure if you can hear that in the background. Still working hard there. Tony Tor is our president of the Commissaire panel, or the PCP as it's now known. It used to be called the Chief Commissaire. Now it's the PCP. A lot of people outside of the sport have no idea about what a commissaire is, just the race official, but that is the name of our particular sport's race officials.
We do love to use some fancy names in the sport, but I think it is important to remember that a lot of people that join the sport don't necessarily have a long history or a family history in the sport, and so they might come in and think, how very bizarre. And I must say, my 2 girls at the moment are playing soccer, like academy soccer, and I am learning a huge amount about the structure of a different sport. And I think soccer's very odd compared to what I'm used to in cycling, but I think when you first come into cycling, you'd probably think, why do they speak half French half the time with peloton and bidon?
Yeah,
commissaire.
Well, commissaire sounds more 1930s Germany.
Yeah.
But soccer is no rule changes in soccer. One rule change they brought in the last 40 years, I think, was you're not allowed to kick back to your own goalie and they pick it up.
But do you know why my girls play soccer? Matildas.
Ah, okay. Yep.
100%. They watched the World Cup when it was in Australia. I took them to a couple of games and they just loved it and loved the athletes and the characters. And it's a real reminder that all of these riders, you know, people are watching. They can be a real inspiration for the kids in the crowd.
Well, you see the riders coming around there, the under-17 boys, or the under-17 men. They're coming out for their scratch race as well. The second of our junior scratch races, as we call them. So junior for me when I was racing was the under-19s. And they still have junior world championships, which is under-19. But junior category typically is now under-15 or under-17, just to make it confusing. But when I was doing it, we were called juveniles.
Yeah, juvies.
Sub-juvenile, juvenile 2, and then juvenile 1.
I'm old enough that I was a juvie, as a very young juvie, before it switched. But gee, there's some there's some strapping frames amongst the under-17 men riders. It is a really interesting category, and you know, I think there's a number of riders who have, you know, ploughed head-on into and through puberty, and there's a number of riders who haven't quite entered through that door yet. The age range for under 17 is anyone turning 15 this year or turning 16, but not yet 17. It's under 17. So some sports categorise by whatever age you are during the year, but for cycling it is under.
"23 riders, big field for the under 17 scratch race. So bottom of the track there is Jack Panozzo, the Victorian. Top of the track is Thomas Brinkley, the South Australian. So the last couple of riders just getting themselves sorted.
So they also did a qualification round this afternoon. I love how many athletes there are in the junior categories. It's so cool.
Just you see there, one rider from Western Australia, Matteo Boudier, just getting himself onto the bike. And there's three other teammates in here. Oh no, that was Jackson McDonald from the ACT. So Macca Jacko got himself going. He was the last to get himself sorted, and they are on their neutral lap. So Ruben Shepherd, it is Shepard that brings them through, and they'll get underway. 30 laps to go now as the whistle blows. Under 17 scratch race final. Gee, Kate, I don't know, what year was it? 1985 I won this race at the National Championships. It's going back a decade or four.
I was born, but there's 5 Victorians in this 23. That's the biggest team out of any. Queensland and New South Wales have 4 apiece. WA have 3. South Australia have 3.
Shout out to my old mates. Steve McLeod used to push me all the way. Paul Dobson.
Hey, Steve McLeod was the reason I became a points racer. He won the World Championship points race, came to Maryland's Velodrome, Parramatta Cycling Club, with the jersey on. I got a photo when I was 11, I think, and that was it. That was my inspo.
Old Steve. So a little bit of an acceleration from Kamisi from Victoria. Seems keen to push things on a little bit. So they're a bit more stretched out than the girls were. Western Australian right up around the outside, coming into screen. So just looking to improve his position. The South Australian perhaps looking to go a little bit further than that and all the way around the outside. That's Tom Brinkley.
So a lap was taken in the qualifying, which is highly unusual in the under-17s with the gear restriction. But in the first qualifying heat, New South Wales did a pretty good job with Ruben Shepherd and Harvey Challinor. They rode really well to go through. Jack Panazzo was the winner in that one. Thomas Brinkley was the winner in the second qualifying, and he's the one who took a lap. He's wearing number 76, so he just swung off and swung back. He looks like he certainly could be a second-year under-19 rider. Like, he's got a beautiful style, and he's well briefed, but he drops right to the very back. And as we said with the women, there's 23 in this final. The back is not a friendly place to be. It's more dangerous, there's more risks, but also very easy to miss a move.
Well, a move coming now, and it's one of the Victorians. Kamisi, I think it is. Indeed, Omer Kamisi. Big move from him. And it's caused a reaction. New South Wales rider coming up to close the gap down. That has them really strung out. And there is one rider with a problem right off the back of the group already. So one South Australian boy is in trouble. Kamisi has been caught, but the pressure's on and some gaps are opening up.
And with the restricted gears, it's hard to open any gaps and to really get away. But the women averaged over 43 kilometres an hour for theirs. The under 17 men usually average a little bit faster than that again. But this is interesting. They're all up the track. This is danger moment. This is opportunity moment. When this happens in an under 19 or an elite race, especially with the unrestricted gears, it's opportunity for somebody at the back to take some speed and make a move.
Brinkley it is again, pushing the pressure. He said he took a lap in the afternoon race and he wants to do it again. He'll win it if he can. One Queenslander trying to come across, but this is a big effort. So the biggest gap that we've seen, coming down 18 laps to go, and Thomas Brinkley.
And beautiful timing from him, but he's run out of gas, so he's swung up even though he had a reasonable gap, but it is almost impossible to maintain that cadence and that speed. When he took a lap in qualifying, he wasn't going that fast because the bunch wasn't chasing as fast, so it was a slightly different scenario. I love that he put himself out there, but I also like that he was aware enough to go, this is not an efficient way to do this.
Oh, and a whole bunch of riders have gone down. Good 4 or 5 of them then.
And an unfortunate touch of wheels. A Queenslander first to go and falling low in the group. And so the commissaires may well neutralise this and push the race up for the safety of the riders.
They are moving. Most of them are moving off to the side, quickly trying to get themselves back into this race. So they will get 4 laps to get themselves back into the race if they can.
So there's a commissaire that goes over and counts the laps to make sure that if they can re-enter, they are re-entering.
So you can see him there. That's Steve Machetti with the hand in the air. And each time they come through, he'll put another finger up just to let them know exactly how many laps have gone by. So there's 2 laps now that have gone by. And one rider has got himself back in. That's George Mulhern from Victoria, already got himself back into the race. So that was really fast of him to get going again. So one rider's still sitting, 2 riders that's still down. Next one to get himself back up onto the track.
That's Oliver Jordan, the young Queenslander.
Impressive the way this man's riding. Once again, launching himself off the front. He took the lap in the qualifying. His teammate put him on the front of the group as they head down.
So Brinkley again on the attack. That's Oliver Jordan that's just behind him, who's now gone out with him as well. He hadn't quite got himself back to the peloton where he's supposed to go to when you're coming back into the race. But Brinkley and now Jordan.
And I thought it was Harvey Challinor that might have gone down, but I've seen him safely mid-bunch, which is good. So we've got our 2 riding away.
Well, and that's also for the riders that were unable to get themselves up and going. They have gone 5 laps now, so they are unable to get back into the race. That amount of time that they're given to get back in has now gone by. 10 laps to go, 2 riders off the front. Brinkley leads. Jordan is with him, and he has now been told by Tony Tor, our PCP, that he has to go back to the main field because when he came back onto the track, as I said, he didn't go to the peloton itself. So disappointing for him.
An unusual situation. But Brinkley, with 9 laps to go, it's almost an unassailable lead because if he can just maintain the pace.
Well, the pressure's come on from Riley Dixon from Queensland now, and it's almost half a lap advantage at 8 laps to go for Thomas Brinkley. Oh, big pressure now coming though. So that's Josh Moore really stretching the peloton. Brinkley doesn't look that committed now. He's at 7 laps to go, and he does appear he's about to get caught. So big acceleration from Joshua Moore, and that shut things down. So all together again, Thomas Brinkley back into the peloton.
It just shows how quickly the tides can change. 6 laps to go. We saw the under 17 women wait until about 3.5 before it really went on in similar scenes. Good to see number 70 up on his feet from Queensland, not back in the race.
Gavin Herzl it is from New Caledonia that goes off the front, takes the opportunity. He can't win the title, but he can win the race. So he's gone solo with 5 laps to go. But a big acceleration from
Harvey Challinor from New South Wales. He played a really good role in the first qualifying heat for Team New South Wales. He just needs to duck midfield because you'll get sucked backwards very, very quickly at this point. But a big turn from Team New South Wales that are now stacking up in numbers together.
4 laps to go, or 3.5 laps to go now as they go down the back straight. Oliver Jordan from Queensland, that white and blue frame right in the middle. The Victorians are coming around now as well, right at the top of the track. Down the bottom as well, Victoria. So looking to dominate the front of the peloton, the Victorians. Mulhern with his numbers flapping after being in that crash. Back out into the race, he's on the outside. And they'll come around to get 2 laps to go. Mulhern was involved in the crash. He's going to get to 2 to first, so he goes right to the front and to the bottom of the track. Well, this would be extraordinary if Mulhern can crash, get back in, and then still win. But it's a long way on these small gears, touching on 140 revolutions per minute as George Mulhern comes to the final lap. Absolutely motoring. Jack Panozio it is, his teammate from Victoria, that steps out, goes down the back straight, and he's pedalling his heart out as he comes around the final bend. Jack Panozio, the Victorian, is going to take the gold medal. He wins the under-17 boys scratch race. Absolutely pedaling his heart out, and a crash after the finish as well.
Just a little clip of wheels.
It's a demolition derby out there, the under-17 men. But Panozio is the champion.
He won his qualifying round this morning. He's backed it up in the final. So sensational. Jackson McDonald back up on his feet. That was a bit of a whoopsie. Just a clip of wheels. And I think he took Harvey Challinor with him as well, who seems to be walking back to the finish line.
He's not too happy.
No, he's having quite a verbal stoush with the commissaire.
Where we saw the 5 riders go down, and that's where we did have Mulhern go down in that crash, and that's him with the numbers flapping off the back there. And Panozio straight over the top. Super quick ride from him. Sid Natira from Tasmania trying to hold on for silver, just gets 3rd. So Panozio, Omar Kimizi and Sid Natira, gold and silver.
And that's Jackson McDonald. He had a bit of a fall at the end. He's been up and on his feet. He's just catching his breath again to get a little bit of medical attention.
Probably more disbelief than anything. Half a lap after the finish, touching wheels and going down. Perhaps more embarrassed than anything at all. Well, they throw it all at us, the under-17s. I remember from when I was racing, it was so random, so sketchy. Mix of inexperience and inexperience coming together.
Oh, and a mix of development. You know, some riders look like they're men, and some riders still look like they're in primary school. Said with absolute due respect to each and every one of them.
When I was 16, first international trip, went across to New Zealand for the Oceania Championships, and the fastest sprinter that was coming out of New Zealand at the time, I thought he was a man. He had a beard. I was 16. Had to race against him. He smashed us.
Well, I once raced against a woman who had a beard. She got banned. She got banned the next year. Yeah. That was my first Senior World Championships, and I saw her warming up in the infield, and I was terrified, I must say.
So much could be said that we won't.
Yes.
So a little bit more work for Pat Curling on the track. He's on the other side of the track now. A few more repairs to do. And, yep, sand it down. A little bit of bog. Paddy, fill it up. Get the tape out. Yeah, well done. Doing a great job. 1993 World Championships in Hamar, Norway. The big motorcycle crashed on the track and really ripped it up. And Eurosport, the way it was back in the days, they just stayed watching the track repair for the next hour. So anyone that was into cycling back then, or track cycling, knows woodwork as well. tutorial well before YouTube.
Learn a bit about carpentry.
Chippy.
I learned about a new sport the other day, chess boxing. Have you heard about chess boxing? They play chess and then they have a boxing match.
Okay.
So,
I haven't heard about that.
Ooh.
That's nasty one. That was one. And a little bit of a head knock there as well by the looks of it, and you fall down like that.
Yeah, that was Jackson McDonald. He took Harvey Tallinor with him, unfortunately. But they're both back up on their feet. But back to chess boxing, because, you know, what a game that is. But it could be a bit of cycling carpentry. You know, like combining two skills.
Yeah. Well, I want to see...
Fix the track, then race on it.
the lance and cycling. Just keep the lance out of the front wheel. Remember the old on the horses, the knights? Yeah, just keep the lance away from your front wheel.
Like jousting.
Jousting, that's it. Lance, yeah. It's with the lance, but the sport was jousting, that's right. Lost for words there. Yeah, bicycle jousting.
I mean, I'm open for any suggestions.
I've commentated modern pentathlon.
We don't
multiple sports.
We don't have a do a gold medal, no less. We don't have a hashtag you can send questions to on this occasion. But
well, if you know us, you can send us messages. That's for sure. Shoot us through a message. We may or may not answer and reply.
There's waiting for the medal presentations. In the middle, the flying burrito, Corey Boddington. He's the ambassador for the Brisbane Cycling Festival. This is one of the events, of course, but the Tour de Brisbane, another one. I'll be taking the family out for the family ride.
Speaking of racing under 17s back in the day, all those years ago, thanks, Robert Burns. Sent me through a message of a photo of the Junior World Championships from 1986 in Casablanca, Morocco. The tracksuit top that we had from back then, we purchased. We were in the team together. And it was a long time ago, Bomber. Absolutely.
Well, the other competition that's happening this week is how many movie references can Scott McGrory get into the commentary? Is that what you were just doing? Casablanca, is that your first for the night?
No, that's the actual town. The city is where we did go to, but what a movie that is.
But while you bring it up.
In all the world. She had to walk into mine. Rick's Bar. And it looks like we are done. Track is ready. Not that that will change what happens with the presentations. Looks like we're almost ready to go.
It's my sister's just texted me. She's watching the racing.
Has she seen Casablanca? Ask her if she's
I don't know. Nat, have you seen Casablanca? But she reminded me of the junior men's under 17 scratch race when we were juniors, when Ben Kirsten's saddle fell off. And the entire race, all you were watching is, would he remember to stay out of the seat? Because he didn't stop. He kept racing.
Got to do it.
It was remarkable.
They are para athletes now, the C1 to C5 from the team sprint.
And winners of the silver medal.
And the silver medal.
Australia gold, made up of Tara Nayland.
So Tara Nayland, Matthew and Carl Willis.
Medals and jerseys are being presented by
the Australia gold team.
AusCycling.
Australia green was the winning combination. Interesting fact, Erin Normoyle, who's in the winning Australia green team, former motocross rider. She raced on the motocross scene in the US against the men, so superstar motocross rider. Did a lot of commentary as well in that particular sport, alongside Gordon Allen and Corey Boddington, who is probably the standout performer at the Paralympic Games off the track when it came to the interviews. Thoroughly entertaining. So Normoyle, Allen and Boddington, Australia green.
Erin Normoyle, Gordon Allen and Corey Boddington.
Both Gordon and Erin at the moment. Oh, and Corey as well, world champions in certain disciplines.
And you can only wear the rainbow stripes, of course, if you're racing in the discipline you're world champion, which is why Corey's in the standard Queensland garb.
Now, he's looking to be the first para-athlete to go under 10 seconds. That's his goal. I think he rode 10.3, so he's not too far off it.
Yeah, he's a remarkable athlete and quite a cool character. And he's an accountant, and he's got a whole lot of personality for an accountant. I like that.
Fair sledge.
I mean,
accountants.
I'm an accountant. I can make that sledge.
Yes.
Yeah.
The presentation now.
All in context.
The Tandem team sprint.
Otherwise, I apologise to an entire profession.
Well, I was listening to a podcast yesterday actually out on the bike. It was all about AI taking over from lawyers and accountants.
Oh, lucky I've got this hobby, hey?
Yeah. So the B Tandem presentation now. Jess Gallagher and Bo Wooten with their pilots Jackie Mengler-Moore and Byron Davies. He's been very busy tonight, Byron, in the Keirin as well. And he's still got the 7th to 12th final to come for Byron. Just missed out on getting into the final. So he did the tandem, then got on the track and raced in the Keirin. Second round, and we'll see him again coming out. But for now, doing a great job along with Bo Wooten. We saw them in the tandem sprint a couple of nights ago. Jess Gallagher just keeps on. Unbelievable what she's been able to achieve across multiple sports, both summer and winter. And Jackie Mengler-Moore now the piloting Jess Gallagher. So great combination there. The big Queenslander off the podium. And the under-17s getting themselves ready for their presentations now as well. Action-packed racing. It was really good to see the under-17s on the track. And what a thrill it is for them to be in the evening. Normally they're racing all in the afternoons during the championships, but we have arranged it to have some of their races in the evening. So they are part of the broadcast. So we all get to see the next generation coming through. And for them, just so inspiring to be a part of the main program. So the bronze, well, and the under-19 lads first for their Keirin. Will Emilus. So two Queenslanders, silver and bronze for them with Will Emilus. Sebastian Topping taking the silver. He's had a good week, Sebastian, showing really good form. Not able to get the job done, though, here in the under-19 Keirin. Cooper Dunlop from Western Australia takes the gold. So the under-19 Keirin. Gold medal going to Western Australia.
Every different age category has, you know, its real highlight, and with the under-17s, it's just this, you know, incredible tenacity and a mix of different developments and talents. With the under-19s, it's like they're more developed, but maybe their frontal lobe not so much. So the racing is really interesting.
And winner of the bronze medal, representing Western Australia, Ava Rogers.
So Ava Rogers with the bronze medal in the under-17 scratch race.
In second place, and winner of the silver medal, representing
So Sienna Tinkler, Western Australian. So Western Australian silver and bronze. What a fantastic battle it was around that final lap between Sienna and Ava. Ava Robbins, the Queenslander, getting to the line first, but shoulder to shoulder for the entire final lap before Ava finally got out in front to get the win. Now Robbins, Tinkler and Rogers. AusCycling's future.
Ava not a stranger to the podium. We'll see her again in the future. And I love that last year she and her mother Jackie Mengler-Moore both won gold medals, the first mother and daughter to do so in the same championship. And there they are, gold medalists again together. Her mum, Jackie, was a very good kayak athlete and moved over to cycling, won some medals in as an individual, and is now part of the world champion para team on the tandem with Jessica Gallagher.
And the last event we saw come off the track, the under-17 men's scratch race, Sidney from Tasmania, the only Tasmanian in the field, so he was flying the Tassie flag very high.
In second place.
And the two Victorians. Silver medal for Omo Kamizi. And his teammate Jack Panozzo picking up the gold. Super quick over the final lap. Jack Panozzo, gold medal for him. Close fought race between all of them. Had everything, that one. Some really good attacks as well. Tom Brinkley was the standout in terms of attacking. Had in front so many times. Just wasn't able on those tiny little gears. He showed some really good character, as did Jack Panozzo, saving it all for that final mad dash for the line. Hopefully all the guys that did touch down are going to be okay. Not too badly hurt. We saw one of the girls with her arm in a sling after her crash in the under-17.
Jess, Jackie, really special for you to race in the Rainbows. Big crowd here tonight. How are you feeling?
It was a really fun atmosphere, so it's always a very special moment to wear the Rainbows, and it was nice to put out such a quick time for the crowd as well.
Yeah. Just shy of the world record, hunting that tonight with Byron and Bo.
It's the first time we've raced with them in the tandem team sprint, and the conditions are a little slow, so our time actually did correct to a world record. So really good signs for World Championships later this year, whoever we end up riding with. We've got some incredible depth in our men's tandem, so it's exciting to see where it all goes.
Yeah, it's very exciting, and also exciting is you winning and also Ava winning. So how are you feeling about that?
Well, I'm a very proud mum. I was a tired mum immediately after racing, but I soon got my voice back ready to cheer her on. So it's a special moment, making memories, and to be here in front of a home crowd is just, incredible. So super grateful, and to be able to do this with Jess and the boys tonight, very special.
Congratulations, you two. Cheers. Thank you.
What a wonderful sight to see Jess Gallagher once again winning gold. She cannot be stopped. And mother and daughter on the same night winning gold. That is sensational. So a big elimination race coming up next. The under-19 men with their elimination. 18 riders coming onto the track, and we know how hard the under-19 lads went in the points race the other day. It was absolutely chaotic. Elimination by nature is chaotic, so this is going to be sensational. Last rider across the line every 2 laps will be eliminated. As the back straight clears, riders lining up. The blue helmet there, the Victorian, Ollie Jurovic. Certainly one of the riders to watch in this one.
On the fence line, we welcome.
So top left on is Zach Douglas Savage, the winner of the under-19 points race, that hectic event that I mentioned. He was the winner. Negotiated the field and the track and the points better than everyone else. So the Queenslander on sensational form.
Sam Hilditch, George Tucker, Will Brown,
Max Nussbaum, the silver medalist from the points race, lines up as well. So does Ollie Jurovic, who was third.
This is the Elimination Championship for those of you who may not have seen it.
So for this event, we're looking at the back of the field.
In the race.
Every lap,
Of this journey.
every second lap, once they get underway, the rider who is the furthest back, taken by the front wheel, not the back wheel, will be eliminated. The danger spot is underneath. A lot of tactics are to sit midway up the track, midfield, and just use the banking to roll around and maintain your position so you can get stuck in a little bit of strife underneath. Next time around, they'll receive the first bell for then an elimination.
You can see just how fast they are already, absolutely fighting for position right from the very start. First elimination lap now, and it's Alistair Norris in the dangerous position. And he's been right up very high for the first 2 laps, wasting a lot of energy. Really going to hurt if he stays up there for too long. Downhill run, but it's not going to be too long at all because he is the first out.
1-2-1, Alistair Norris, 1-2-1 from Victoria.
Well, there's always got to be one to go.
And when they fan out like that in a big field like this.
Well, Angus Gullick from Tasmania thought it was him, pulled up, and has now had to hustle to get back. Used a whole lot of energy.
It's Hudson just in front of him. Garlic flapping around a little bit, not sure where to go here, thinking about diving underneath, but I think he's conceded. He'll be the next to go.
111.
And Raphael Delathea from New Caledonia was very lucky down the bottom. He's actually made his way a little bit further again. You can see him right down there on the bottom. But underneath is a danger spot, so I feel as though he's probably in the most dangerous spot at the moment.
Big George Tucker, the Queenslander, at the very back now.
It's a big week of racing for George.
We saw him in the Keirin. Surely got tired legs, Tucker. And he goes through underneath. He might be able to keep himself in. Oh, I don't think he did actually. It's very tight between him and Sam Hudson from Victoria. No, there was George Tucker on the inside.
I mean, good on him for lining up, but that's a massive night to try and do the Keirin as well.
Nasty fall, one rider going down.
Schapowski, Patrick Schapowski from WA.
Well, they will neutralise the race now. They will neutralise it until he gets himself back in, because it is an elimination race. They have to allow him the time to get back into the race.
So he needs a wheel change. We're still, look, there he is. He's calling for a mechanic to help him.
Well, he has a staff member with no equipment with him. That's not going to be helpful if he really does need it. Quick check over the bike. Both tyres are still up.
Just his handlebars a little bit askew.
Yeah. So he's keen to get back in, but he does have an extra couple of laps. You might as well just be patient and wait.
Take a deep breath.
Soak up the time a little bit.
Because adrenaline can be really helpful, but it can also be a very big hindrance. So he'll need to rejoin the track and then rejoin the race.
So Patrick Schapowski from Western Australia. Hopefully not too badly damaged. He looks okay, but you just don't know exactly how hurt he really is. He did bounce off the fence on the inside as well as he slid down. So allowing him to get... He has the opportunity here, if he wants to drop in right at the very front, but it does look as if he's going to go towards the back. That's not ideal. So he could have been a bit smarter about that, because he'll be in danger of being eliminated next time anyway. So whistle goes, race is back on.
Sometimes it's hard to think really clearly when you've had a racing incident like that.
Well, now he's trying to move up, and he could have done that by just dropping in at the front.
Well, Sam Hudson from Victoria was at the back on the last lap, but it's Delathea, Raphael Delathea, who's positioned himself in danger for a number of laps now, and he looks to be on the chopping board.
Well, I'm crossing his name out already, because there was no way he was going to stay in that far behind. So he's gone.
Well, and for Schapowski, there he is, the second Western Australian rider. He's moved himself up considerably, which is good to see.
Comes to the front, the West
It was Oscar Schoff who was across the line last then, but he's moving up rapidly to make sure that he's safe. There he is at the top, number 97.
Well, look at him fanned right across the track. Look towards the back. And Oh, I think it was Jacobson or Jacobson.
107.
Oh,
But they've called Benjamin Cade from South Australia, who was
Okay.
right underneath, but
he went onto the blue band at the bottom of the track. So that's what's happened there. He wasn't last across the line, but he did try to improve his position down on the blue band.
and that's where it can be confusing for some riders who might almost self-eliminate, realising they were last across the line. You've got to wait until the commissaires call it for that reason.
Forward with the paces into the front to save him.
It's tightly packed, so at the back,
Oh, maybe right down the very bottom there.
it was either Chad Charay, it was Chad Charrett,
126.
but Sam Hudson from Victoria,
Down the back straight, 126.
he's got to hustle up because it's been a number of eliminations that he's been very close to being the one.
So Will Brown comes to the front. We saw him in the scratch race the other night, win gold. He's out of danger of being eliminated, being right up there. Hudson, once again, the Victorian, high on the track. You can only do this so many times you would expect at this speed. He will get the run down and he'll keep himself in. Oh, it might have been Shipkowski or...
101 is eliminated.
Oh no, Lockie Walters from Queensland.
Lockie Walters.
Gee, Shipowski's got a number of lives. He's being a cat in this race.
He knows it. He drops to the bottom.
So Walters, just nowhere to go. Down the bottom, needed to be
Down that side. The
in
pace
clear
goes
air
up.
to stay in. So Dunlop in trouble. Jacobson is in even more trouble. So Gabriel is already self-eliminated here. So he'll cruise around and be the next rider to go out. Special note to Cooper Dunlop, the first of the Western Australians. Won the Keirin, now back out ready in the elimination. So extraordinary. Oh no, Nussbaum has been taken out. So he impeded in the race. So they've allowed Jacobson to stay in, but he'll be going next time anyway.
Well, Max Nussbaum, when we see the front of the group, you'll see he is not he's swinging up. He's just swung up mid-pack to eliminate himself. Dangerous riding. He's clearly a little bit grumpy. I get it. But
Unfortunately, what will happen, because they called no elimination this lap because he stayed in, but that meant that Jacobson will have to stay in for another 2 laps because he's out the back. He's not on screen, but they're about to actually catch him. So they're doing another elimination now. They're going to take Jacobson out of the race, even though he has come up the track.
the peloton certainly doesn't understand what's going on here. So there's going to be another rider who thinks they're eliminated here. I hope that they can very quickly understand that they're all safe.
Yeah, I think they'll do the right thing and just take Jacobson out. Yep, they have. So Jacobson is out, even though he went a lap down. He's now the one out. Everyone that's in the peloton, no stress for them.
Last night there were 3 or 4 races where we said I've never seen that before. I've never seen that before in an elimination.
Well, Nussbaum won't be happy. I can see his facial expression as he rides past us now, still shaking his head, not happy with that. But he must have pushed through, used the elbows too much. Not allowed to do that. They're looking for that as well. Hudson once again, the Victorian. At that familiar position at the back, get the run down, the banking, and he will stay in. Maybe
That's
Brown.
a tie. Will Brown from it is South Australia, and underneath it's that spot again.
Yeah, he would have been a pre-race favourite. Will Brown, he'd be disappointed.
It's Oscar Schoff at the back from Queensland, number 97.
And he gets out of the saddle now. My second cousin. I'm going to cheer for him in this one. Try and stay in there, Oscar. First year under 19. He's only 16. So he goes over the top of Hudson. So Schoff will stay in. Sam Hudson will be the next one to go. So an easy elimination there. So Oscar Schoff. My close family stays in.
3 Queenslanders, 2.
3 Queenslanders, 2 from WA, South Australia and Victoria. Shipowski, the cat in the competition. He's done a great job with some bark off, some holes in the skin suit, but still out there.
Well, Cooper Dunlop is the one in danger now. He won the Keirin super quick. He's doing so well to do this far into an endurance race. He will stay in, so that's a really good run from him. Next one goes Oliver Ward.
And Cooper Dunlop straight to the front. So there's Ollie Ward. He's out of the race. Dunlop has gone straight past to the front. We know he's got a lot of speed. He won the last Keirin to go into the final.
So Hilditch just pushed through Jurovic to go towards the front. And Sipkowski is the one that had the crash. Looks like he's going to stay in. A little bit of acceleration, a sprint between these two at the back. But Patrick will be the one to go this time. So a crash and now eliminated. Not a happy race for him.
So 5 riders left, 3 from Queensland. Cooper Dunlop from Western Australia, but he is getting pinched to the back. Worst position for Dunlop right now. He'll have to back right out and come around.
Well, Dunlop at the very back. Oscar Schoff at the front. Jurovic fighting to stay in second position, but gets to save some energy. And the Keirin national champion, Cooper Dunlop, is self-eliminating. He did well to get that far in, considering he had a big race tonight already in a sprint discipline. Down to 4, 3 Queenslanders versus the 1 solo Victorian. 3 versus 1. Jurovic on the front. Hilditch, Douglas Savage, and Oscar Schoff. So Schoff in second position, comes up beside Ollie Jurovic. And it's Douglas Savage that is the next one that's going to go, I feel. So Zach Douglas Savage.
Self-eliminating.
So many self-eliminations in this one. So we are down to 3. The medals will now be decided between Ollie Jurovic, Oscar Schoff, and Sam Hilditch.
So will the Queenslanders use their numerical advantage against Jurovic, who was the silver medalist in the points race? The Douglas Savage won. He was just eliminated then. Jurovic leads.
Let's see who picks up the bronze medal. It's Oscar Schoff in third position. Sam Hilditch in second. Jurovic leads, and another self-elimination as Oscar Schoff has said bronze will be enough, thank you very much.
So he will be eliminated. Now it's going to be between.
So well done, Oscar. We are down to 2. Jurovic versus Hilditch. The Victorian, Ollie Jurovic in second position. Sam Hilditch, Queenslander, stretching the legs.
It looks like a 2-up sprint match here.
Well, Ollie Jurovic, really crafty rider, and trying to make this one as short as possible. Now Hilditch trying to force Jurovic to go. So Ollie Jurovic from Victoria is the first one with a full acceleration. What can Sam Hilditch do, the Queenslander? He sits down early, but he's in the slipstream. Now kicking the pedals, bucking and weaving as they come around the final corner. Jurovic wasn't able to hold on as Sam Hilditch wins the elimination. So really strong final lap there from Sam Hilditch from such a slow start. Seated power, seated acceleration was extraordinary, and he wins the under-19 elimination.
Just a commanding finish. There's a big crowd in the front straight, and he is absolutely loving it. He's got a lot of supporters here tonight, and they're noisy. That's what satisfaction looks like.
Yeah, they're up.
Gee, they were really physically very close in terms of shoulder to shoulder, and it was a very clean ride, but there wasn't much room between them. Look at that. He'll have to get a new helmet for next season. Can't see his ears.
And so you see Oscar Schoff with the bronze medal. Commentators aren't supposed to be biased, but
you'll put yours on the table.
Come on, surely sometimes when they're a relative.
Yeah, I feel like you need to declare your conflict of interest. It's just straight up.
Bugger that.
So, well, no, but I mean, so nobody's wondering why you're...
Why you're cheering for third.
Yeah.
Sam Hilditch was the winner. Great ride from him. Sam Hilditch takes gold in the under-19 elimination for Queensland. Ahead of the Victorian Ollie Jurovic, who was 3 against 1. Ollie still hanging in there for the silver. What a hectic race that was. And that's where we saw the unfortunate moment where Patrick Sipkowski went down, got himself back in, but you just clipping the wheel going down, and then flipped around and hit the inside. That was an interesting one to see Will Brown go out, the South Australian, one of the pre-race favourites. Good in the bunch races. He was incredible in the scratch race. And 2 quality riders racing for gold and silver at the end. Jurovic happy to make that as short as he possibly could. Despite that, Sam Hilditch was able to come around the outside and get the win. So much strength in young legs. So once again, we have a track repair to be done. So we're the position where Patrick Sipkowski touched down as they come into the front straight. Just making sure no issues with the track itself to cause another crash in the races still to come. So difficult to work, as you can imagine, in the banking. 43 degrees, the banking's here. And if the damage is up further up the track, then that's when they bring out the ladder, put the ladder onto the boards. When it's like this, Steve Machetti's foot is just good enough to get yourself up to the position on the track required. You can see how big the gash in the track was. Big indentation. That'll be enough to get us through the rest of the competition, no problem at all. If it needs more repair, they'll do that at the end of the championships. But for now, a little bit of sandpaper work, throw in a little bit of bog, throw the tape on top, that's enough. No danger for the races to come. Obviously another little section there needs to be done. Bit of block sanding. There is a section here at the track when you've come in the back entrance, not the spectator entrance, but the main entrance where the administration is. There's a big hole in the wall that shows you underneath the track itself and all of the infrastructure below these boards. And they have one of Anna Meares' race bikes hanging in front of that. So it's a really spectacular way to come in and see, you know, the inner workings of these velodromes.
And it is unusual to have that on show, actually. Without that, you would usually never be able to actually get a bit of a look-see and understand. And this venue will be upgraded a bit ahead of the Olympics. They'll put heating in.
Yep.
Because of the time of year. They want to make sure the temperature is warm enough.
Because it's just not hot enough in Queensland, apparently.
I mean, that's the funny thing. It doesn't really get cold enough that they do need to worry about that. But a fast track is a hot track.
And this was built in 2016, and there was no thoughts about heating required, as we see that unfortunate incident with Sipkowski. But to retrofit heating into a complex like this, 5 times more costly than it was to have done it at the time it was constructed.
Not an inexpensive undertaking. But what they also do, you'll notice in some wider shots, the grandstand capacity, and at the moment there's a deck around the top, and so a lot of the crowd sit down, but a lot don't actually sit down. They kind of stand behind the seating or at the fence line to watch when the Olympics are here, and also the World Championships, which are here in 2030, and there's a World Cup here in 2028. So there's lots of opportunities for this velodrome to get used. What they do at the big events is they actually put in additional grandstands that tower quite up, and it kind of removes the deck element, so it changes the way people do spectate. But there it is. It looks like a giant Pringle.
Wonderful facility. Just off camera to the right there is the BMX track as well, which was hosting the World Championships in July. So if you are in southeast Queensland, buy your tickets. They've sold tickets really quickly, actually, in the first couple of days when they came on sale for the BMX World Champs.
And there's beautiful Brisbane City in the background and Mount Cootha. And you'll notice just how much forest is around the venue here at Chandler. But it's not far from town. It's 20 minutes. It's only about 7.5 kilometres from town. So everything very accessible. Well. It is. There's some beautiful
big
blocks of land. And not too far in the other direction from the city, look at that beautiful forest, is Manly Wynnum Beach, the largest collection of boats in the southern hemisphere, the largest marina out at Manly Wynnum. So it's quite magnificent.
There's the giant white Pringle.
And the track in Adelaide, they say, looks like an armadillo.
Yeah.
So all of them, you would think they should kind of look the same, given that the inside of velodromes look quite similar, but they really, really don't. This is
Well,
quite a modern facility.
the London Olympic Velodrome was known as the Pringle because of the shape of the roof, but it was a different, it was the similar shape, but it was done in a different direction compared to this particular track. So it was a very low roof, which created wonderful acoustics when the Olympics were on. I must say, I remember when Chris Hoy won the Keirin on his home track, I looked across to Phil Liggett, who I was commentating with, and while he was mid-sentence, I knew I wasn't required, so I took my headset off just to hear the crowd for myself and not through my headphones, my headset, because it was just unbelievable. Spine-tingling, goosebumps while commentating a sporting event.
And that's something very special about velodrome design, these indoor facilities, is, as you mentioned, the acoustics is so wonderful. So when the crowd gets behind it, it really sounds like a roar, and it really does help and urge the athletes along.
Well, a few delays tonight with the crashes that we've had, but the under 17 and under 19 categories often give us a little bit of extra spectacle when they come onto the Velodrome at the National Championships. It's always been that way. I remember the crashes when I was in those younger categories as well. All part of the learning curve of learning how to ride a bike on a steeply banked velodrome with a fixed gear with no brakes. And that's, of course, for those of you that don't know a lot about track cycling, the no brakes are to make it safer. Sounds counterintuitive. Brakes are there to help you slow down and be protected, but if you hit the brakes in the middle of a peloton on a velodrome like this, everyone would go down behind you.
And likewise, there's no need to change gears, although sometimes you may feel like you've chosen one a little bit too big or a little bit too small. So our under 19 women are up for their scratch race now. There's 13 riders in the final. We've got our champions of the week so far. Megan Moore from the individual pursuit. Elsie Apps, she won the kilo. Megan Moore also won the points race. Niamh Parslow, the elimination. The first time we've seen a rider win an elimination from first wheel for the entire race. So just showed incredible strength. Isabella Potts is out there. She medalled in the kilometre time trial as well. Sienna Monteith, a sensational individual pursuiter. So it's a pretty packed field with a lot of talent. I'm not prepared to pick a favourite, but I'd
Six
say
Queenslanders.
Yeah, there's certainly a few with targets on their back. I mean, I would think that Elsie Apps from New South Wales would be feeling a little bit outnumbered. They do have 3 from New South Wales, but with 6 from Queensland.
Well, what we noticed in the points race is the Queenslanders, while Megan Moore came away with the win, it was super close between her and Elsie Apps, and the Queenslanders didn't appear to be racing too much together, which is great. When they've got the numbers like this, half the field are Queenslanders, you really like to see them racing individually, going for it. So all the Queenslanders are at the back. Elsie Apps just out of picture on the right-hand side. The New South Wales rider with the black aero helmet. That's Elsie Apps. Won the 1,000-metre time trial, second in the points race. Certainly showed some really good speed in that 1,000-metre to indicate that she could really be a contender here in this scratch race. 30 laps of the track.
Niamh Parslow, a really interesting rider. She's wearing number 141. She's got the yellow, Queensland rider with the yellow stripe at the front of a white helmet. Now, she beat Apps in a 2-up sprint to win gold in the elimination. But not only that, she was in the wind the whole race and still held on. So enormous staying power.
So we've had 3 bunch races, 3 bunch races. Different winners, 2 bunch races, 2 different winners each time.
And consistent is Elsie Apps with the silver medal.
Yeah, and then
both.
she's got a gold from the 1,000-metre as well. So we've got a real mix of riders here that you'd all put into that warm favourite category, I think.
Scratch races very much depends how they're raced. When they're fast, then it can really just take the polish off the sprinters who just want it to be as easy as possible. 30 laps for the under 19 women, 7.5 kilometres, and then you've got the riders who perhaps would prefer a smaller group to sprint from, or at the very least a very fast race. And those from Queensland, Neve Parslow and Megan Moore are the two riders who, the faster the race is, the more it will suit them. Elsie Apps, she could go across both because she's very versatile. Lucy Johnston, I think she's got an enormous amount of horsepower and still really learning to use the tools in the toolbox. So if she's in a good position in the final couple of laps, I think she could certainly be a podium contender. The thing with Lucy Johnston, though, is she's quite enthusiastic to take responsibility for turns. So sometimes she does more work than she really needs to, and it's slightly inefficient, but we see that a lot in the under-19s. They're really still learning the racecraft.
22 to go. Elsie Apps goes through. Short turn from her. Vienna Nadjafian from Western Australia, the only one in the yellow of Western Australia in the race. Hines now on the front. New South Wales, she swings up and out of the way as well. Just pushing a little pressure there as Lucy Johnston comes through, Tasmanian. Then it's Maddie Douglas from Bendigo in Victoria. 10-metre turn from her. So no pressure, cruising around.
And there's no pressure to do much of a turn, but a rule and etiquette, if you will, not a formal rule, is you never swing up from second wheel. We actually just saw it happen. Good example, but it can be quite dangerous because wheels do overlap in bunch races, especially when they are really tight, and you've got to be careful and respectful. If you don't want to take a turn, you just swing up very quickly, but usually discouraged to do it from second wheel.
That's the second time Emily Hines has come to the front and accelerated, but only for a short amount of time. So short acceleration, swings up out of the way, really only hurting her own legs there. Didn't go for far enough to really put any pressure into the peloton. 18 laps to go. Douglas comes through. Then it's April Patty from Queensland. We saw her in the top 4 of the sprint. So we know that she's got some speed in the legs. If they continue at this sort of speed, April Patty could be very dangerous in that final sprint.
Yeah, Queensland have a few different options. And the other thing that's generally not a good idea, Neve Parslow on the front, she's comfortable on the front. We saw that in the elimination, is there's no real point attacking or really accelerating from front, from first wheel. You do as much damage to your own legs as anybody else. The opportunity is when you move up the track that you can use the momentum and the banking to gain some speed and more efficiently get up to speed. And also the element of surprise.
So lots of jostling for position, but no real pressure on. Monteith, quality rider. Little acceleration from Sienna Monteith. Now Megan Moore, tall Queenslander, winner of the points race, sits on the front.
Moore would do an excellent job sprinting from the front with one of her teammates on her wheel, because if she wasn't able to hold on herself, it would make a wonderful launch pad for one of her teammates.
Now, that little acceleration that we just saw was a bit too much for Audrey Pritchard. See, there she is, just came into shot at the back of the field there, so unable to keep up with the peloton. Pritchard, Victorian. Apps swings up. Nadjafian, likewise. More the next one to go through and up. Then it's Prince from New South Wales. Monteith, Parslow, Patty.
12 to go, 3 kilometres, well past the halfway mark.
Johnston now, the Tasmanian. Grace Hunter, Queenslander in second position.
The non-sprinters are running out of opportunities to be involved in the race.
Once again, Emily Hines on the front, couple of kicks of the pedals and then swings up again. So again, just costing herself a little bit of energy unnecessarily.
Megan Moore leading.
Just upset the rest of the field.
Najafi and the Western Australian rider has been choosing very good wheels, and she might find herself in the final mix if she continues to look for Megan Moore.
Down the back is Isabella Potts, and I mention that only because she's the only one I haven't actually mentioned.
Well, she's a medalist in the kilometre time trial. She's got pretty good skills and pretty good speed. But we see a lot in the under-19 women especially. It can be a bit of a roller coaster. Some days you're the hammer, some the nail.
Well, that's her just swinging up now, the Queenslander on the red Cervelo bike.
She's got a long ponytail. Such are the ways we have to distinguish riders when a lot of them are wearing the same helmets and the same garb.
Let's just hope on the final lap we don't have Potts, Parslow, Patty and Pritchard neck and neck.
Well, last night we had an April Patty and an April Cat, and it was Patty Cat that we were calling.
Kitty Cat. Parslow swings up.
April Patty, arguably the most rapid rider in the field. Doesn't want to do too much work. It's just about positioning.
Well, they'll come around to get 6 laps to go, and they'll really have to start thinking about positioning now as we get towards that final kilometre. And it's Elsie Apps from New South Wales that leads them through. Isabella Potts in second. Now she's on the front. The Western Australian is about to come through. Nadja Fian. About a 3.5 metre turn before she swings up.
Well, Megan Moore or Neve Parslow are the two wheels that I would try and find if I was out there. Megan Moore on the front now, 5 to go, or possibly slightly too long for what she would want. She does swing up. She needs to drop in to a safe wheel and not go all the way to the back. You can see her long frame, white helmet about midfield. But where's Elsie Apps? There'll be a few people looking for her.
Well, Moore has gone right to the very back almost.
As Neve Parslow, very back right at the top of the track. What is she doing?
4 laps to go, 3.5 now as they go down the back straight. So it's Patty that's on the front. She's also drifting up. This could be an opportunity for someone to dive underneath. There's lots of hesitation in the field at 3 laps to go in the under-19 women's scratch race.
Unusually so for this point in the race. So this is an opportunity for somebody to take a flyer.
Emily Hines it is from New South Wales. Little acceleration from her. That's been shut down by Grace Hunter. Sienna Monteith in now second position. Elsie Apps in a really good spot in third place for New South Wales. 2 to go. Hunter stays on the front. Monteith, here comes Moore. Watch for Apps. So Apps trying to fight her way out now. The third rider of the New South Wales riders, but they'll come around to get the bell. It's going to be Megan Moore. She's gone early, got herself out there in front and absolutely motoring. Isabel Prince from New South Wales. Here comes Elsie Apps though. She finally got herself out, got some clear space, motoring up past them now. Moore versus Apps. We saw it in the points race. It's happening again in the scratch. And Elsie Apps gets there first for the gold medal this time. So 3 bunch races, 3 different winners. Elsie Apps this time.
That makes it 2 gold and 2 silver from this championship. 2 gold and a silver for Megan Moore. Gee, those pairing, they just knock it out of the park every time. Elsie Apps, what a sensational ride from her. She left it late. Megan Moore, great tactic from her. She did everything she possibly could.
I thought she had it. She got out, clear space, but Elsie was boxed in. It took her a real fight. Showed some courage to have to make some room. But just do need to be careful sometimes. Back in the day, there was absolutely applauded someone that was able to make their own space, open the gate, get out. Sometimes if you're a bit too aggressive, commissaires look at that. I'm not saying they will now, but I like it. Showed some character.
Yeah, she's a sassy rider.
So Elsie Apps, second gold medal in the individual events for her after winning the 1,000-metre time trial.
And she's emerged as the strongest bunch racer in terms of consistency with a gold and 2 silvers. And quite comfortable in the end over the top of Moore. And Isabel Prince, she just chose the absolute best wheel to take that bronze medal.
And the gold and silver medalist we just saw there coming up to congratulate each other. Megan Moore, hand on the back of Elsie Apps. So good camaraderie between them, a lot of respect. That's good to see. wasn't quite like that when I was racing in the men's under-19s back in the day at the national championships. Almost fisticuffs, it must be said. Sharp elbows.
Well, we've got the Keirin finals coming up behind us. Just before, we had a gaggle of men in, I'm going to say their 60s perhaps, who, and I wondered what they were all here for. A very large group having a reunion. Track cyclists from the Queensland area, including Olympian Stephen Goodall, won a medal at the Commonwealth Games in the Tandem.
Yep, Guga from the Gold Coast. He was out of the sport when I came into it, when I grew up racing on the Gold Coast, but certainly a famous name down there.
Yes, well, he's 69, so I got the demographic right for the reunion happening. So
the women's elite Keirin now. It's the race for 7th to 12th. 4 Queenslanders in this one Western Australian and 1 South Australian. So Ella Liang, Molly McGill and Emma Stevens. Sophie Watts as well. And then from South Australia is Bree Hargrave. And the West Australian is Christine Perkins, who was a gold medalist in the team sprint a couple of days ago. Western Australia doing a great job there. Maya Dillon and Lilia Tatarinov as teammates with Christine for that gold medal. So the race for 7th place. The best of the rest. We'll see the race for the medals after this.
Motorbike on its way.
So 4 from Queensland. Emma Stevens, number 61. She's got the yellow on her helmet.
Sophie Watts, Emma Stevens, Christine Perkins.
Ella Liang is second from the back in the black helmet, and she's got a ponytail out the back to keep track. And it's fairly hard to distinguish between Molly McGill and Sophie Watts. They've got the same frame, the same helmet, the same
short sleeve
bike.
Skin suit for Molly McGill. So the rider in first position, Molly McGill, with a short sleeve Queensland skin suit. Behind her is Sophie Watts. Then it's Emma Stevens, Christine Perkins, Ella Liang and Bree Hargrave in the red colours of South Australia.
As it stands, Christine Perkins is in a really plum position, but she'll have to move early because, as we're starting to see with the Queenslanders, quite often the way that they will help each other is to just give that little bit of extra distance, because look how far back, or the whistle will sound.
So they will have a restart because the gap was opened up too soon, too big too soon. And that's the danger of that. They want to try and keep them.
So what they're trying to do is create an advantage by opening those gaps, but it's unsporting. So the commissars have called that. So you can create a little bit of a gap and lay off, but not that much.
Done it a little bit too much, and the commissaires will determine who that rider is.
Who that rider is will cop a
Then we'll start again.
removal from the race. So that's unfortunate. The 7th to 12th will now be 7th to 11th.
It's actually some of the regulations that some of the riders have not been aware of in recent years and come foul of, not knowing exactly all those intricacies.
And it is their responsibility to know all of the rule changes, but when there is a high frequency of rule changes and they are quite nuanced, there needs to be a real consciousness around that and the education, and not just saying, well, it's their responsibility.
Sophie Watts it is that will be not coming back onto the start line, the Queenslander. So she'll be disappointed with that. Look, she'll be a little bit more disappointed if it was the race for the medals, this being the Keirin race for 7th to 12th, now to be 7th to 11th. So that's one way of finishing 12th. No effort required. You can see she will be disappointed with that, but learning a good lesson. She'll know exactly next time. You can see the lineup there for the final for next.
I mean, the good thing for Emma Stevens is that it's lower consequence than it had it have been the final.
Yeah.
So now, when she finds herself in the final, maybe next year, she won't be doing that.
So 5 riders now in the race for 7th place. It does make it slightly easier to navigate in terms of tactics and trying not to get boxed in.
No harm done.
The old Keirins, when they first came onto the global scene, up to 9 riders in the Keirin, and the motorbike would go much faster when they released them. So if you're down in 9th position, forget about it. Almost had no chance. It's far more fairer competition now with 6.
And they dropped them off at 50 kilometres an hour. And it used to be a bit of a luck of the draw, the Derny rider that you got as to what speed they both accelerated and dropped you off at. There was a range, but now they have to consistently ramp it up over the first 3 laps.
So the bike will come off next lap. You can see gaps just starting to open up slightly, and I can guarantee you they won't be as much as they were previously. Ella Liang backing off the bike a little bit, then it's Emma Stevens, Christine Perkins.
Get out of the way. Queensland 3 through. McGill, Stevens.
Ella Liang in 4th last position, should say. Hargrave in the red skin suit. So McGill, Stevens, Perkins wanting to go, but she wants Stevens to go first and wants to follow the wheel. Hargrave goes through underneath. This will get interesting. Bit of push and shove. Hargrave gets through, pushes through on Perkins. Smart move from the South Australian. So Stevens, long way to go from here. Hargrave on the outside, the South Australian. And Molly McGill fights on the inside, waiting to see what Hargraves does. Looking for a gap to open up. Perkins out of the saddle down the back straight. Stevens is starting to fade on the inside. Hargrave holds on. So Bree Hargrave will come through to finish 7th. That was a solid ride. Outside run the entire last couple of laps. Ouch.
A really gritty ride from the South Australian. She's got some great experience, and it was just some grunt that got her there. Very tightly packed in the end.
Now, should we wrap with that? Her son, Xavier, only 20 months old. I asked how old he was, and she said months. So, okay, so almost 2 years you've been. Still in that months phase.
Yeah, you
how long
speak
does that last, Kate?
Usually at 2 years.
2 years?
Yeah, and then it becomes 2.5, 3, etc.
Yeah. Isn't the classic? And, a young mother asks someone what the time is, and they say, oh, it's 75 minutes past midday. Just to rub it in.
Yeah, you get used to speaking in different increments. The gold medal is what we're looking at now, the gold medal race. Just a recap here of the 7th to 12th, and you can see Bree Hargrave from South Australia just held her line and her grit.
So a great lineup. Bottom of the track is Chloe Moran. Made the transition from endurance racing. She did the Paris Olympic Games in the team pursuit, and now looking to go into the sprint classification. Going to be a challenge for her as we go forward over the next couple of years, because we've got 6 or 7 sprinters in the women's sprint squad now. That's Chloe Moran down the bottom of the track. Next to her is the defending champion, Alessia McKay, with the green helmet. Christina Clonan is second from the top. So they are the 2 that really stand out in this particular race. In the middle, we have Deanna Blinko and also Lilia Tatarinov at the top of the track.
Well, Danica Blinko was second in the elite women's sprint behind Alessia McKaig. Lilia Tatarinov, she was 3rd. Gilles Bart, she was 4th. Moran we haven't seen this week yet, but she's just transitioning over to the sprint disciplines.
She was 4th in the Keirin last year, Chloe Moran. Sits right behind the bike, tucked down, trying to save a little bit of energy there in the aero position.
Just look at the mobility through that thoracic spine, that she can get so low, saving every little ounce of energy. I think almost giving herself a bit of a stretch there.
Female Matthew Glazer.
Yeah. And Paige Squire in the under-19s is exactly the same. Now at the back, Lilia Tatarinov, not long into the elite women's category and a real rising star. I anticipate she'll move quite early, because it's a bit of a tough position back in 6th if there's a fast move from McKaig early on.
So McCaig, the defending champion, bike comes off. 3 laps to go in the women's Keirin final. Chloe Moran from South Australia leads McCaig, then Blinko, then it's Gelbart, second of the Victorians. Christina Clonan is the second of the Queenslanders, and Lilia Tatarinov with the same green and black helmet from Western Australia at the back. Moran slowly starting to move. Here comes Clonan, the first one to move. Blinko's going to go as well. McCaig looking to cover this. She can accelerate into the wheel there of Christina Clonan. So perfectly ridden so far by the defending champion, Alessia McCaig. Blinko up into second position. Real squeeze between them as Gelbart tries to go through. She gets popped out the back. Clonan in third position, but it's McCaig that still leads. Blinko, the silver medalist last year, could be the silver medalist again because Alessia McCaig goes back to back. Another Keirin victory for her, backing up the World Cup victory in Perth a couple of weeks ago as well. Sensational ride from McCaig.
Well, gold for McCaig, silver for Danica Blinko from Queensland, bronze for Lilia Tatarinov, riding for WA, coming from the Central Coast in New South Wales. Another gold for Alessia McCaig, and a very different way than she won gold in Perth at the World Cup. So that shows her versatility and her comfort and her confidence. It was really a beautiful and commanding ride from her.
Well done to Missy Moo. Great ride for Alessia.
You coined a new nickname for her yesterday, Cool Cat McCaig.
Cool Cat McCaig, but
we confirmed that
Marie said Missy Moo.
Missy Moo it is.
Motoring around the track, Missy Moo. Solid and just really smart early on. Just before all of this happened, she gave herself enough room, kept watching, accelerated into the slipstream of Chloe Moran, got herself out of trouble. And look, we know that she has the speed and power to maintain that kind of position. But if you get boxed in, it can all go haywire.
So brilliant ride. The same result that we saw in the elite women's sprint. So consistent performances from those 3 in particular.
So it's the elite men's Keirin, yep. The race for 7th to 12th here. Xavier Bland, Noah Mason, Byron Davies on the track again. Doing the Keirins and the tandems tonight. The big man from Queensland. Mitchell Louis, also from Queensland. And then there's James Brister from South Australia. And Flynn Underwood. He's down the bottom of the track. Multicoloured kit.
And he's from over the ditch, New Zealander, joining us for the championships. So Mitchell Louis, the Queenslander, one of the Queenslanders in this race, the one up the top there with the blue helmet. He was the under-19 champion last year. Byron Davies, of course, he's won the kilometre before at elite level, so we know that he likes a long, hard race. James Brister, big night to get the bronze in the sprint. That was a sensational finish against Danny Barber to take that.
That was his best result in the sprint competition as well. And he's really been pushing, knocking on the door for a number of years to try and get into that team sprint squad. It's going to be tough for him. His challenge is off the start in the team sprint. He can improve that, and he certainly will be putting his hand up. So it's Underwood that leads. Noah Mason. Then it's Byron Davies, the big Queenslander, in the middle. Second of the riders from New South Wales with the blue helmet. That's Xavier Bland. And the shorter of the 2 Queenslanders is Mitchell Louis. Right at the very back, James Brister. So he's not going to stay there for too long. Bike will come off next time around. You can see the gaps already starting to open up. They have to be careful. We saw what happened in one of the women's Keirins. Don't let the gap go too far. Evenly spaced all the way. Looks like a handicap. They're all evenly spaced around the track as the bike comes off, free to go.
Well, the 7th to 12th final, they learnt the hard way. Byron Davies, he likes a long, hard race, and he has made that happen. The first to move, he started in 3rd. He's well cleared now, but he's got a long way to hold on. 2 to go.
Well, there's a real battle for second position. Mason was unable to get over the top of Underwood. So Flynn Underwood in a grand standing position here as he looks at the back wheel of Byron Davies with 1 lap to go. Big move coming from Brister, but he's 3 wide with a lap to go in the South Australian colours. He'll get a run down the back straight. Davies starting to slow. Underwood likewise. Brister coming 3 wide around the outside. Can he get there? Oh, I think he does. James Brister from South Australia. We'll wait for confirmation. Really close between Brister and Davies.
Geez, Brister loves a good photo finish, doesn't he?
That was tight. I do feel it was Brister. Waiting for confirmation.
Wait for the photo finish to come up.
Byron was slowing down the whole last lap.
I mean, it was a great tactic from him.
Yeah.
It's what he had to do, but brutal. James Brister.
There it is. A bit more comfortable than we thought. So James Brister gets the win over the top of Byron Davies and Mitchell Louis.
They did take a look at the photo finish. There it is. It doesn't look as close as it seemed. But again, Brister almost could have mistimed it but didn't. And that's what we saw in the sprint competition too. He either has consistently slightly off timing but still wins, or his timing's perfect.
So 7th place for James Brister in the Keirin. As our finalists come up now. So Davies went early, Underwood in the right position but just didn't have the power. See Bland right down underneath with nowhere to go, and flashing home for South Australia, James Brister. Look at that, virtually 4 wide to be honest.
I mean, brilliant Brister. Byron Davies, you've got to say that's a gutsy ride from him.
This is the lineup now for the race for gold. The medals, Elite Men's Keirin final.
And what a stacked final it is too.
Ryan Elliott from Queensland, bottom of the track. And it's the defending champion, Danny Barber. Western Australian Finn Carpenter in 3rd from the bottom. Then it's Tate Ryan, South Australian. Sam Gallagher from Victoria. And at the top of the track is the Australian sprint champion, Lee Hoffman.
Well, Hoffman was 2nd in this event last year. Tate Ryan was 3rd. With Hoffman at the back, that completely changes the dynamics of the race, because he comes in as the favourite after a dominating performance in the individual sprint. You know that from 6th position he'll want to move early. Tate Ryan knows that if Hoffman comes past him, it's all over Red Rover. So Ryan will want to move early and fast. Finn Carpenter from Western Australia, he's well aware of what's going on behind him too. So there will be a furious fight as soon as the bike comes off. And that's what we saw with Byron Davies as well. He was in 3rd.
Well, the Queenslander Ryan Elliott, he's the starter for the Australian team sprint team. So really quick from a standing start over 1 lap. He does not want to do 3 laps on the front when this bike comes off. So he's hoping someone does pop over the top and take up the leader. And then there'll be a fight to get into 2nd position if that does happen. The bike will come off this time, and already Hoffman is moving.
Danny Barber's in a plumb position here. But Hoffman snuck past Tate Ryan almost without notice.
So Barber quickly over the top. Hoffman fights off Ryan to get into 2nd position, but Tate Ryan's coming high and wide. He'll want to keep going. That could be trouble for Hoffman. He's now in 3rd position. So Ryan, Barber, Hoffman. Hoffman senses the danger, goes early, but he's going to be stuck on the outside of Danny Barber here. This is not advantageous for the big man from South Australia. 3 wide as they blast past Tate Ryan. Oh, and they almost come together down the back straight. So it's Danny Barber versus Lee Hoffman. Ryan Elliott's coming for Queensland, but the mighty man from Whyalla in South Australia, Lee Hoffman, takes gold. Backs up the sprint win from last night as well. Too much power, too much speed, and he wins gold.
Hoffman, the only one to really survive that tussle in the end. Tate Ryan paid the price. Lee Hoffman, he's pleased. He lost this last year to Danny Barber. Sensational ride from New South Wales.
Had to fight for it.
But there was a little bit of pride on the line for him.
Yeah, he really had to fight for that one. Ryan Elliott didn't want to be in that 1st position. He got himself back up for silver, so good ride from him as well.
Yeah, I mean, Danny Barber and Tate Ryan in particular fell real victim to Hoffman moving so early, and when he flies around Barber, he takes Ryan Elliott with him. Oscar Gallagher, he also gets the benefit of the slipstream there. Poor Danny Barber, it looked like his helmet was getting sucked off, and Sam Gallagher, not Oscar Gallagher, wrong one.
His brother's more of an endurance rider, Oscar.
Yeah, he is.
So Lee Hoffman, Ryan Elliott and Sam Gallagher again showing how smart he is to get himself onto the podium. Always a crafty rider, Sam. Well done to him.
He's got sharp elbows, but he didn't need to use them. I mean, we knew that Hoffman would go early, but he went so early that I think even Tate Ryan got caught unawares. He made up for it by then going early himself over the top for that final rush, but it really cost Barber and Ryan in particular.
Hard-fought race.
Sometimes it's about the wheel you choose, because Ryan Elliott in particular really benefited from Hoffman's slipstream, as did Sam Gallagher.
Well, gold in the sprint, gold in the Keirin. Second in this one last year to Danny Barber. It was a photo finish. So a little bit of a revenge from 12 months ago for Coffey.
It's funny because you think when they've won the amount of things they've won, you know, is this really of high consequence to them? Oh yeah, every race. They're such competitors.
Steve Peterson is running all of the major events for AusCycling now. Just getting ready to do the medal ceremony. He'll be awarding the medals by the looks of things.
And there was free face painting out here tonight for the kids, and I noticed one of the young podium presenters has a beautiful paint design on her face. As part of the Brisbane Cycling Festival, there's quite a lot going on out here. We've got a DJ who's keeping the crowd a-rocking.
In the top 10 of TikTok DJs for Australia, I'm told.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Is that a thing?
Apparently. I'm not on TikTok, so...
There you go.
But apparently, so he's a very good DJ.
I was playing quoits with my daughter before. You know what quoits, is that what they're called in every state?
I just know Russell Coit.
No, you know, it's a stick and you throw round cloth, like round roped over the top, and you have to get it onto the stick.
You throw round rope
like
over the top.
It's
Yeah,
circular rope, like a donut, and you throw it over a stick.
Okay.
And you have to try and get it on the stick.
Points.
Do you know what I'm talking about
I
at
do,
all?
yeah.
What do you call it?
I don't know. I
idea.
think it's round ropey stick thing. The next medal ceremony about to come up. Thankfully, no one's been throwing anything round or sticky onto the track.
No quoits or otherwise.
Well, as long as Russell Coit's not here.
Oh, he's a cracker.
Getting into trouble.
He could fix the track for us.
Please now welcome our presentation of our junior men 19.
So Steve Peterson will be doing the medal ceremony, awarding the medals for the next ceremony.
Our presentations will be assisted
Wonderful
by
Keirin
Steve
racing we had.
Peterson, Executive General Manager of Major Events AusCycling.
Still have the elite women's and the elite men's scratch races to come tonight.
In third place and winner of the
And the under-19
medal,
elimination,
representing Queensland,
Oscar Schoff picked up the bronze medal. Queenslander. Shout out to Mum and Dad. Said good day to them just before. They came into the track to say hi. And Ollie Jurovic, silver medal for him, the Victorian.
Ollie Jurovic
Emptied the tank for the second last sprint. Didn't have much left for the last one. And Sam Hilditch just too strong in the end. Wins gold for Queensland.
Certainly is a very exciting event to watch.
Yeah, every elimination we've had so far has been sensational. It's just the nature of that race. So Samuel Hilditch, another gold for Queensland.
And there's not really any other sports where you could do I'm thinking summer Olympic sports that you could do an elimination.
Summer? Yeah, I have to think about that. Winter Olympics, like
Yeah,
skating
winter.
you could.
Yeah, winter. I think.
Skiing and skating, for sure.
Yeah, but summer.
in third place and winner of the bronze medal representing New South Wales, Isabel Prince.
So Isabel Prince taking the bronze medal in the under-19 women's elimination. Her first podium this week in a bunch
In
race.
second place, winner of the silver medal representing
So Megan
Queensland,
Moore,
Megan
Queenslander,
Moore.
silver for her, backing up the points race gold medal she had.
And in first
And a
place,
second
winner
gold
of the
medal for
for
Elsie
national
Apps, winning the
champion,
1,000 metre time trial and
representing
now
New South
in the under-19
Wales,
women's
Elsie
elimination.
Apps.
So 2 individual wins for her, a couple of silvers as well, showing some real versatility. Be wonderful battles between these riders over the next coming years.
Megan Moore, if she looks tall, she is. She's the tallest junior rider, one of the tallest riders in the entire competition. For the females, she and Claudia Marks are the two tallest.
I'd be certainly picking her for my goal shooter if I was playing netball with her.
184 centimetres. I'm glad cycling got her, not basketball or rowing or any of the other, or volleyball.
Well, if not goal shooter, then goal defence.
Yes.
Concronus, the bottom of the screen there, just walking out a shot. Our wonderful photographer really does wonderful things. We can go down and have an interview now with our champions. You see Josh Davies ready to go. Let's hear from the new champs.
Yeah, both of you. Elsie Apps, another national title for you this week. How's that feel? You did it hard on the bend on that last lap.
Yeah, it feels good. Able to back up all my other races, so yeah, really happy.
Yep. And Sam, you also went really hard, big celebration. How's it feel to get that done and on a home field?
Oh, it's pretty good. That one meant a lot. Like, definitely less than ideal build-up, and yeah, so you get that one done. Definitely meant a lot.
And Elsie, how do you summarise your whole week? You've had a really good week so far.
Oh, really good, bit unbelievable. Being able to medal in everything I've gone in so far, so couldn't be more happy.
Awesome. Congratulations. Thank you, guys.
Wonderful young talent coming through AusCycling's national championships. Wonderful sponsors and partners as well of AusCycling. So ARA, you can see along here as well, the AIS in this program. The high performance program for the sprinters is now based up here. Both endurance and sprint were based in South Australia, in Adelaide. That was part of the deal with the Velodrome being constructed back there in 1993. The AIS and the national program would continue to be in South Australia. And it's only in the last 18 months that they've started to shift the sprinters up to here. You can imagine in winter especially, warmer climate, you know, they do a lot of track training, a lot of gym training at the Velodrome as well. It just makes sense to be at the track where the 2032 Olympics is going to be. We've got a World Championships coming up in 2030, and it's just warmer environment through the middle of winter. Nothing wrong with Adelaide, but it's certainly colder at the Velodrome during winter compared to here.
Yeah, it's a great training environment up here, and some lovely roads to train on around this area as well. And a familiarity with an upcoming World Cup, World Championship and Olympic track. That's all happening in the next 6 years here in the Anna Meares Velodrome. So 40 laps for the elite women in their scratch race, 16 riders lining up. We've got a great field.
We do. Some standouts here. Sophie Edwards. Odette Lynch is a real fascinating character, former rower. She's been great on the road and in criteriums in particular, and this is quite similar to that, but it's the technical nature of track that does make it a little bit different. Alyssa Pilates will be aggressive, the Victorian. She always is. Kira will. She was sick coming off the weekend of racing in the rain. Hopefully she's fully recovered. She'll be dangerous also.
Well, Kira Will, Anna Dubier and Nicole Duncan all lining up for New South Wales, all junior world champions in bunch events. Anna Dubier, the youngest of the three, but there's a lot of internal competition just from New South Wales, and it really, lifting the tide lifts all of the boats. Nicole Duncan got a warning in the women's elimination last night. She won it, but nearly took out a front wheel on her way to do that, so she got a warning against her name. So again, if there's another race incident, then she'll be out of the entire championships, not just the race. You might notice there's a sea of red from South Australia, so 7 lining up. Technically, you cannot collude with your state mates, and increasingly more, we're seeing riders really show their riding as individuals, and that's because a lot of the time there's selection on the line for bigger events, but also each rider has their own goals, ambitions and capabilities, and it's not necessarily fair nor reasonable for a state coach to say, hey, we're all in riding for someone. Everyone goes out with their own opportunities.
Short turns of pace, quickly through and up as they are looking to save energy early on. 37 laps to go in the elite women's scratch race.
All of our scratch races so far have come down to a mass sprint with a whole bunch. We did see a lap taken in the under 17 men qualifying scratch race, but that has a different dynamic to a final. But of course, it's the first over the line, so should you take a lap and be a lap up, then it's an easy sprint.
Took home another gold medal in the team's pursuit this year. Got to hand it to the South Australian coaches. They produced the team.
Plenty of South Australians, if they wanted to play the tactic of attacking, plenty of riders to do it. Mae Plouffe just swings up, goes off the front. 3 bar from Victoria, the next one to swing up. Claudia Marks in the yellow colours. Easy to pick her out from the ACT.
Yeah, the only one out there. She's our kilometre time trial champion, as well as the individual pursuit, so on exceptionally good form.
Anna Dubier, first time up in the elite category for the World Under-19 points race champion. Handling herself very well so far in the elite category.
Yeah, she's a really classy rider, got very good skills as well as instinct on the bike.
Little push off the front from Riley McMullen. So this is the tactic I was suggesting that the South Australians could do. They've got enough riders to just keep launching attacks to see what might stick. 32 to go.
And that was a bit of a soft attack from the bottom and acceleration, and in large part successful because Sophie Edwards just delayed and then swung up and took the bunch with her. So South Australia is actually clearly, even if not proactively riding for each other, certainly protecting each other. Sophie Edwards essentially pulling on the handbrake, while Riley McMullen over half a lap up.
So Nicole Duncan is making a move on the front of the peloton to try and make sure that this lap does not get taken. Half a lap though, a little bit less than that for her to do to get to the back of the peloton, McMullen. So this has been a sensational move, but now the peloton is starting to motor.
Well, this is where it gets harder for McMullen. If you can take a lap in about 4 or 5 laps, then you have a good chance to recover. But when it starts dragging out, each lap just starts getting harder and harder, and your chances get a bit lower. She's still maintaining about half a lap lead. Claudia Marks taking responsibility for the pace. She's just swung up. New South Wales comes through, and that's Kira Will, Nicole Duncan, Alyssa Pilates.
Still almost there.
Straight swing up from Pilates, which is interesting because McMullen is getting closer. Why would Pilates not contribute to the chase there?
Trying to put the pressure on maybe New South Wales to do the chasing, but I'm not sure that's worked out so far. So it's still around about half a lap that McMullen has to try and close down to take a lap here. She's just going to continue to get more tired the longer this race goes. 26 laps to go for the peloton. And Pilates, flick of the elbow. She now wants to try and start chasing.
It's kind of risky, and the thing is, if McMullen stays out there for many laps and gets caught, these riders in the main bunch will say, it was on purpose, we were just letting her wear herself out. But it's pretty risky, and given that McMullen is now only a quarter of a lap behind, I'm not sure that they've given her the respect she deserves. I think there's been an underestimation here.
If they pause again, now she's going faster than we can see visibly. She's going faster than the peloton. They don't have to hesitate much more because she's going to catch them at this speed. And then all she has to do is hang on and she'll win the title at 23 laps to go. They've eased off. So this is going to happen now. We are going to see one rider go ahead of all of the others. Riley McMullen is just cruising up to the back of the field. So she'll go 1 lap ahead and will be the winner if she can stay in the field now with 20 laps to go.
Brilliant ride from her.
Yeah.
But I'm going to call out all of the riders that are not from South Australia, because collectively, between Pilates, Duncan, Will, Dubier, Marks, they could have They could have shut that down even if the South Australians were refusing to ride and get in the way. That's a miscalculation. Riley McMullen, brilliant from her to be tenacious enough to keep going with it.
Well, it's a race for silver at the moment, but another flyer from South Australia. It was the tactic that I suspected would be best for the South Australians to do, keep launching solo attacks, and now that's what we're seeing. Another rider going off the front. This one's Odette Lynch. Mentioned her at the start. Fascinating character that's come from rowing across to cycling, and she stretches the field right out.
And the riders who were left behind before, it's Marks and Dubier who are up the front with Lynch.
Well, Edwards is now the next South Australian to go. So this is a dangerous move. One of the pre-race favourites here in Sophie Edwards.
And I think the other riders are going to say South Australia was just too strong. But with 18 laps to go, I don't know that I agree with that position.
No, you get a few riders together and just absolutely motor it for a couple of laps. It would have neutralised that.
Especially with the horsepower available.
Well, it's to the advantage of Riley McMullen. Doesn't have to do anything here. It's her South Australian teammate Sophie Edwards that's gone off the front. Kira Will comes through, not pushing too hard. She's thinking about it, and there she goes again. So she swung up, dive back down again. And this will keep the tempo in the main field a little bit higher and harder for Sophie Edwards to try and hunt down at 16 to go. She's starting to feel it now. You can just see the body language of Edwards.
Yeah, Edwards certainly not having as clear a run as Riley McMullen had.
But Kira Will really closing the gap. So she's opening up the gap on the field. You can see at the top of the screen. And Kira will get across to Sophie Edwards. So there'll be two riders out in front. McMullen still the outright leader in the gold medal position with 1 lap advantage.
Well, the peloton has essentially given up the chase. South Australia and New South Wales are not doing anything. Pilates, Marks and Reba, they're not doing much.
Yep, so Edwards swings up. Let's get Kira Will go through. And let's tactically see what happens. The peloton, this is where it happens. That was the move. And now, two in front, but they're not really working together. So from Sophie Edwards' perspective, she has a South Australian teammate that's going to win gold. And she might not want to contribute too much to this now and take Kira Will out there because she would be really a dangerous rider against McMullen in that final sprint.
I mean, this is essentially neutralising that, and I understand why South Australia are doing it. I can't say I think it's great, given that there's so many South Australians in the race. It just completely changes the dynamic, and it's not necessary. But I'll stop going on about that.
Claudia Marks it is that comes through for the ACT. A little bit of pressure. Now Maeve Plouffe bounces out of the peloton on the front. Oh, Pilates not able to go with her. That's interesting. So Maeve Plouffe is the next one to go. Still the two riders out in front, Kira Will and Sophie Edwards. Now Maeve Plouffe looks like she's going to come across very quickly.
Which is interesting because if Edwards won't ride with Will Plouffe ride with Kira Will?
Well, it's 10 laps to go. McMullen still leads. She's 1 lap up, and these two riders have just let Maeve Plouffe go straight through. Kira Will is trying to get back across to Maeve Plouffe here. I'm not sure it's going to be able to because Edwards won't contribute to this. So Plouffe comes through at 9 laps to go now. McMullen looks very, very good in that main field, holding onto the gold medal, depending on what happens with these three riders.
Yeah,
there's still time.
Maeve Plouffe is starting to fatigue. Kira Will is just digging some potholes behind her, but she is getting there. Sophie Edwards not contributing at all at this point. If Riley McMullen just stays ahead of these three with 8 laps to go, she'll take the gold, and then the silver and bronze will come from these riders in pursuit.
So 7 laps to go. Maeve Plouffe it is. Then it's Will and Edwards still in second and third on the track. Riley McMullen, remember, took a lap early on. She's in the main field, sitting pretty for the gold medal. And with the tempo of the field coming up a little bit, 6 laps to go. Not sure if Plouffe is going to be able to get a lap here.
But it was Pilates who was pushing the pace. As soon as she swings up, the pace came off. So it's very on and off. Plouffe is kind of stuck in no man's land. She's only a quarter of a lap behind, but...
Well, they've eased up. The field has eased up. Now 5 laps to go for Plouffe, and she's not too far from the peloton. Could have two South Australians taking a lap on the field. Marks, a little bit of pressure. Next rider swings up as well, and the gap is slowly closing.
And we just saw Maeve Plouffe come into shot. There she is, so she will take a lap as well. We can't see Kira Will and Sophie Edwards because they are still in no man's land.
So Plouffe has gained a lap on the field. So two riders now on the lead lap, Riley McMullen and Maeve Plouffe, both from South Australia. They come around to get 3 laps to go, and that is the race for gold and silver in the main field with the two riders gaining a lap. This is the race for the bronze medal that we're seeing on screen between Kira Will and Sophie Edwards.
And Kira Will and Sophie Edwards have just been plugging away for quite a long time, but actually it's been Kira Will who has done all of the work. Sophie Edwards not coming through at all, so no wonder that Kira Will is running out of legs a little bit. They'll get the bell to sprint for the bronze medal.
So Sophie Edwards been sitting on the whole time pretty much, so you can expect this to happen. She's going to get the bronze medal. Now we can focus on who's going to win the gold. Maeve Plouffe with the white helmet comes up into 3rd position. She has to get in front of the rider that's just in front of her. She's on the wheel of Riley McMullen. Forget about Claudia Marks, she'll come around as well. But it's McMullen that's going to get to the line before Maeve Plouffe. So Riley McMullen from South Australia wins gold in the women's scratch race, ahead of Maeve Plouffe from South Australia, and another South Australian getting bronze in Sophie Edwards. Clean sweep for the South Aussies.
What a wonderful race from Riley McMullen. She took the initiative early on, and a great sprint from her, great positioning to take that gold in the end. Maeve Plouffe, one of our decorated Olympians, she did such a great job. There was a period where I thought, oh, is she going to make it across, because it was a really tough ask. But she did. I think because she only got there with 4 laps to go, that made it a bit more difficult.
Recovery time.
Yeah, in the final sprint, because McMullen had done it early in the race and was able to sit in pretty, so good on her. Sophie Edwards taking the bronze ahead of Kira Will. Kira Will rode like a champion, but the dynamics not in her favour.
So the rider 3rd position, 4th position now, the second of the South Australians, black helmet, that's Riley McMullen, and with the white helmet just behind her was Maeve Plouffe, her direct opponent in that race for gold after gaining a lap.
And McMullen, a fresh face on the top of the championship dais, so super well done to her. And you might start to notice in the shots that there's a lot of people on the track. That's because the elite men are coming out for their scratch race final.
Well, 20 riders in the elite men's scratch race, 40 laps for them as well, 10 kilometres. This will be a good battle. In particular, I'm going to point out Tom Cornish from New South Wales, former sprinter, Team Sprint World Champion 2022, made the transition across to endurance racing. Now he's in the scratch race here at the National Championship. So we know he is, on paper, the fastest rider in this race. But, as we saw then, with 2 laps taken, will that speed be taken away from him?
There's so many different riders in this field of 20 that I've put a circle around their number. Connor Leahy, he's our record-breaking individual pursuit rider, the fastest Australian ever to ride 4 kilometres. He also won the points race, and that was just this week.
Let's have a discussion about Connor, because at the Olympics we were calling him Connor Lay, and after a conversation I had with him last year, because it had popped up that it may not have been the correct pronunciation. He's happy with Lay, but he did say it is Leahy. That is the way his name is correctly pronounced, but everyone calls him Connor Lay, so he's just dealt with it, and he's been okay with it. So from the Olympics a couple of years ago it was Lay, now it's Leahy, but it was always that anyway.
But that's when it becomes Leahy. I've got a circle around Kurt Ether. He was sensational in the points race, and he's such a good scratch race rider. Noah Blannon, Blake Quick, Toby Jones, hello Queensland, Chuck Liam Walsh and Rowan Hayden Smith in the mix there too.
Yeah, both really quick enduros, those two.
And as you mentioned, of course, Tom Cornish is a really interesting rider. So 40 laps, 10 kilometres. And they won't be rolling around the top of the track waiting for some action here. This will be a fast competition. It's the final race for the evening. And what an evening it's been.
Shout out to Alistair Donohoe as well. He's in here. He's MC5 para athlete. So he's in third position down the bottom of the track. I didn't mention actually, Alana Forster and Tara Neylands also in the last race for the women, both para athletes as well. So good to see them out there. Forster herself, para scratch race world champion a couple of years ago. So good to see them in the elite women's race as well. And good luck to Alistair Donohoe. See how he can get himself around here.
And they get the bell after a neutral lap, so they're underway.
So Sam Gallagher in the Keirin finished in the medals. And his brother Oscar now up in the elite category, riding for Victoria. Let's see what he can do here. Aubrey Price, Oscar Gallagher, Bryce Nichols, Alistair Donohoe, Ethan Lesky and Logan Taplin are the Victorians. Plenty of blue colours out there.
Well, John Carter was the gold medalist from last year. He's not here, but Rowan Hayden-Smith was second, Kurt Ether was third. So they are the two who've most recently podiumed. But if you go back a few years, Liam Walsh, Josh Duffy, Oscar Gallagher, there's been quite a number of these riders who have featured at national championship level in the medals.
Well, 3 riders from New South Wales. You mentioned Kurt Ether, certainly as a medalist previously, and the Australian Omnium champion. He's a favourite. We've already mentioned his teammate Tom Cornish. So head-to-head those two. That'll be interesting to see what they do. They also have Andre Dubier. Toby Jones is the first one to really put some pressure on here. 36 laps to go and he's really stretching the field out. So the gaps are starting to open up.
He's an excellent individual pursuiter. First year in the elite category, but just a sensation last year at the national championships for the under-19 men and also at the world championships, the junior world championships.
Well, he looked back early and saw the Queensland teammates were all in the first half of the field. So absolutely driving it here. He knows that Ed Marks is hard on the wheel. Oscar Gallagher behind him. Then it's Kurt Ether. But he's just trying to put some real pressure through this peloton. And you can see the gaps have opened up. They have to be changed. And one of the riders caught out by that is Tom Cornish, the fastest rider on paper here. So putting some pressure on those real speedsters.
Well, Cornish has made it back to the group. No gaps anymore, but that comes at a cost. Every single moment of acceleration that isn't by choice will cost you. Connor Leahy, he's like the policeman. He goes to the front and everybody says, okay, all right. He's not the fastest rider out there in a one-on-one sprint, but he will wear them down, certainly.
Well, Blake Quick now, the next of the Queenslanders, to put some pressure on the field. So I feel like there's a tactic that's coming from Queensland, and it's make this as hard as they possibly can. They want to damage Tom Cornish, perhaps damage Kurt Ether as well, but I feel Kurt has just gotten stronger and stronger over the last couple of years. His endurance has improved dramatically, the Australian Omnium champion. That's him in second position in the blue colours.
Well, and the riders know from the points race that Connor Leahy needs to be neutralised in some way, and especially with the options that Team Queensland has.
So it's Cornish at the front of the back split there, the second part of the peloton. So Cornish having to close the gap down. It's little bits of fatigue that are putting onto the legs of the fastest sprinters. 28 to go.
Well, Liam Walsh was sitting just behind Tom Cornish, so he wasn't having to do the effort. He was getting dragged around. Noah Blannon, the next Queenslander to move. He's got Josh Duffy.
Well, former scratch race national champion Josh Duffy from Tasmania. And the peloton have completely eased up. 4 riders are off the front. It was Blannon that led the way. Duffy happy to contribute. Then another pairing with Dola. There's the Western Australian Jack Dola and Logan Taplin from Victoria. So this is super, super dangerous now. These 4 will come together, but there's no pace on at all in the main field.
They will take a lap
Oh, absolutely.
on the
Yeah.
peloton in 3 laps. That's the most efficient way to do it. That won't wear them out too much at all, which puts them in a good position to then respond to any moves. There's been a counter move before they even get there.
Rowan Hayden-Smith and Tom Cornish have gone off the front, but those 4 have got to the peloton. So lap taken. 4 riders now are in the lead of this race.
And Team New South Wales trying to get a little bit of strength in numbers. Andre Dubier and Kurt Ether also trying to jump across to Rowan Hayden-Smith and Cornish. 3 New South Wales against Rowan Hayden-Smith would give them a great chance to perhaps take that lap back. But Cornish swings up. The momentum's gone. Momentum's gone in the chasing peloton too, but it's not a huge gap. It's about 80 metres.
Well, 2 of the sprint-type favourites in the 2 New South Wales riders, all 3 of them are out there in this group, along with Rowan Hayden-Smith. So also Rowan, who was 3rd in the kilometre time trial. There has been a crash off camera. So flat front tyre, actually. So Victorian just there. We're just going past. Victorian with a flat front, so that's unfortunate for him.
I mean, realistically, you wouldn't think Tom Cornish would be the rider who would take a lap. But if he doesn't, there's nothing left to sprint for because of the 4 riders, Blannon, Duffy, Taplin and Dola, who are already a lap up.
Liam Walsh it is that's going to shut this one down. And they were not organised. 3 riders from New South Wales, and they just were not able to get coordinated out in front.
Now, off the back of shot, Jack Dola is actually in the process of losing the lap that he gained.
Yeah, that's
so that will
unfortunate.
take it down to Blannon, Duffy and Taplin still on that leading lap.
Yeah, really unfortunate for Dola to be in such a good move like that. And it affects perhaps the way Connor Leahy rides as well. He might have been able to assist his teammate as they got closer towards the end, but now Connor might have to go on the attack as we see the absolute scramble for Logan Taplin. So that's Taplin, who also gained a lap. They're trying to get the wheel changed, but there's a real issue here. They've been able to get his wheel out, but the other one is not going to fit the bike. You can see.
What a disappointment from him. He is literally in a podium position and he's having to abandon the race because he can't get a wheel into the front of the bike. Let's go to things we haven't seen. I haven't seen that before. What is happening?
Oh, that's a real shame.
It's very disappointing.
So there goes Taplin. Gains a lap, puts himself in the mix for a medal, and he's now out. Jack Dola gains a lap. He's about to have that lap taken back off him. So then it leaves only 2 riders in Noah Blannon and Josh Duffy.
And I'm not sure that the riders will necessarily understand the situation of the race. They do show it on the board, but that needs to be updated. At the moment, it's still showing 4 riders with that lap up. So that could lead to an interesting dynamic in the sprint at the end if they don't think they're sprinting for a medal.
Okay, 2 riders, a lap ahead of the field. Noah Blannon from Queensland and Josh Duffy, former scratch race national champion from Tasmania. Blannon with multiple teammates to assist him towards the end. Josh Duffy, only the one, Shelverton. 11 laps to go. Oscar Gallagher swings up. Kurt Ether follows. Tom Cornish likewise on the white bike for New South Wales.
With only 10 laps to go, it would be unusual for anyone to take a lap. That means for Connor Leahy, I'm not sure if he realises that Jack Dola has then lost a lap in the craziness of it all, but Leahy...
Well, on our scoreboard here in the track, that's what they're looking at. It still has all 4 riders 1 lap ahead of the field, so that hasn't been updated just yet.
Yep. And I think Leahy, it would be the next 2 or 3 laps is his chance to go and get a very quick lap, but I can't see that happening. He's certainly not positioning himself to do that. So Tom Cornish from New South Wales, he is seeking to get on the podium. He's joined by Toby Jones, who was the first young Queenslander. There they are. He was the first to accelerate and cause a little bit of damage, ironically, to Tom Cornish in the first couple of laps. And that pairing are currently on track for the bronze medal position if there isn't a sustained chase from the peloton.
It has now changed on the scoreboard here at the Meares Velodrome. I can now see that it's only 2 riders that are a lap on the field. So it's 6 laps to go. Cornish and Jones off the front. At the moment, racing for the bronze medal because the gold and silver still sit in the peloton with Josh Duffy and Noah Blannon. Cornish just trying to stay off the front here. Jones not really contributing too much, but he was the one that really did set up the attacks, drove it for a couple of laps to put the hurt on the peloton. And that's when the attacks went that created a lap.
And they've pulled the plug on their medal charge, which I think is the end for Tom Cornish or Toby Jones in terms of hunting for a medal. It's only 4 laps to go, and they're now going to find it difficult to even get onto the back.
Well, Josh Duffy has moved his way around into 4th position.
Liam Walsh, the Queenslander, is on the front. And he's got Noah Blannon hot on his heels. So this is a lead out if ever I've seen one.
Here it comes. It's going to be Liam Walsh, the Queenslander in the tuck position, doing everything he can here to try and drag Noah Blannon into the medals. It's Duffy in 4th position, but he's got to fight against the rest of the Queensland team. Connor Leahy from Western Australia in 3rd. So in the hot prime position here, Noah Blannon comes over the top of Liam Walsh in the final lap here. He's in the gold medal positions. They come down the back straight, but Josh Duffy makes his move. Duffy, Blannon, Duffy. Gallagher trying to come over the top, but the race for gold is Blannon. Noah Blannon gets there for gold. Josh Duffy will get silver, and Oscar Gallagher will come through for Victoria to get bronze. Perfectly set up by Liam Walsh. Magnificently executed by Noah Blannon.
Just sensational teamwork on display. And Noah Blannon timed it perfectly. Josh Duffy gave it everything. And I've got to say, Oscar Gallagher
trying to steal the show.
Yeah, could have been Sam Gallagher. The way he sprinted there, that was a great finish from him. He almost threw to the line as though he was racing for the gold or silver. I mean, look, to be honest, they may not even realise who finished where or what.
Well, it's not often that the riders that actually took the lap are the ones that are sprinting for 1st and 2nd at the very end there. So it was great that happened. It made it very clear we weren't searching for them in the peloton.
Yeah, that's right. I think when the scoreboard is off, they lose trust in it. So then even when it's updated, they lose trust in what it says. And so I think certainly Oscar Gallagher did the right thing by just racing for the finish there. But Noah Blannon, that was sensational. And Liam Walsh, he deserves half of that medal for that fantastic lead out. And it very nearly got him the bronze too. Like a little bit, if Blannon had have moved a little bit later, Walsh could have perhaps picked the bronze up, but he couldn't afford to because Duffy was always going to come at him very quickly at the end.
Oh, Noah Blannon absolutely owes Liam Walsh an electrolyte drink.
Yeah.
And in celebration after a fantastic job done. Good teamwork by the 2 Queenslanders. And that was set up by Toby Jones very, very early on in the race. Just driving the field to put pressure on to create those gaps that created the opportunities to go on the attack. Lap gain taken. And got a shout out for Logan Taplin. Really unfortunate for Logan to gain that lap and then get a flat front tyre. What might have been for Logan could have been on the podium as well.
I love eliminations. I love scratch races. Keirin's are entertaining.
Point races go all right.
Points races go all right. What a great program it has been.
And we got to see the kids, the under-17s. So it was first time we've seen them second time actually we've seen them in the evening program.
Aside from the exceptionally fast cadence, fast pedalling rate because of the restricted gears.
138 revs per minute on the last lap.
Crikey. There's not much difference otherwise to the racing. A few race incidents tonight.
Yeah, a bunch of crashes as well. Track itself took a little bit of damage.
Yeah, the track needs a bit of a hug, a little bit of a refresh. But the tech team will do that and make sure that it's in excellent condition. So we've got some presentations for the Keirins and, of course, the scratch races for the elite men and the elite women.
Shouldn't be too far away. We can see the media board in the background has been erected. Riders off to the right-hand side, patiently waiting for the green light. So GWM, is our motor vehicle partner for AusCycling. Proudly displayed on the media board alongside ARRA, Shimano as well. Brisbane Cycling Festival, Southeast Queensland. It's a wonderful time of year up here for sport as we see the athletes getting ready. Some smiles, some jokes being told.
It's good to see everybody in good spirits. And there's the confirmation for the men's elite scratch race. Noah Blannon taking sensational gold ahead of Tasmania's Josh Duffy, and in third, Oscar Gallagher.
Yeah, Ed Marks, the best of the rest, in fourth place. Andre Dubier, we saw him have a little incident right before the start of the race yesterday, actually, before he even got going, slipping down. Sorry to embarrass you by saying it again, Andre. Jonas Shelverton from Tasmania, the youngster up in the elite category for the first time. Sixth for him. Liam Walsh was in seventh after doing that incredible lead out. Connor Leahy down in eighth place.
We've got a wonderful program tomorrow night as well. It's the final night for the elite and under-19 competitors. It's only night 2 for the under-15s and under-17s who are just starting their championships now. So we'll see the elite men's team sprint, some scratch races for the juniors, the elite women's points race, the elite men's elimination.
Well, the riders coming up now to the presentation area. And it's the elite women's Keirin presentation.
Presentations will be assisted by General Manager
And Kip Kaufman, I see, is here. Good to see Kip, who's usually looking after the sport of AusCycling and now working directly with the clubs. Lilia Tatarinov, formerly New South Wales, now riding for Western Australia, bronze medal in the elite women's Keirin. There's Kip Kaufman. Shared a lot of Airbnbs at the national championships with Kip over the years. Miss him this time around. Danica Blinko from Queensland. Silver last year, silver again this time.
Silver in the sprint. She's got a good collection of the silver. Sensational consistency.
And once again, Alessia McCaig, the queen of the sprints. Missy Moo stands on the top of the podium to collect another gold medal at the national championships. Cool Cat McCaig does it again.
I see a T-shirt in the future, perhaps for the Olympic Games, with maybe a photo of her when she was a young athlete. And a Missy Moo. Get your pre-orders in. We'll get a cheap price.
Look forward to hearing from all of our winners tonight in the post-presentation interviews as the men come up now for their elite Keirin.
In third place,
Victorian Sam Gallagher just saw his brother get the bronze medal in the scratch race, and now Sam, bronze medal in the Keirin. Happy family.
Well, we've seen a mother-daughter duo on the podium tonight. Brothers, that's pretty cool, especially in different disciplines.
Elliott, silver for Queensland. Medal at the World Championships last year in the team sprint. And Lee Hoffman, the Whyalla Wonder from South Australia, with another gold medal. Silver in the Keirin last year, but he gets 2 golds this time with the sprint and Keirin double. He has absolutely become our #1 sprinter in the last 2 years.
And one of the best in the world.
He's right up there. Medalled at the World Championships in Santiago last year. First individual medals for him. So he's going in the right way. Only just a little bit over 2 years until the next Olympic Games. And he's certainly focused, laser focused on LA.
We'll have the Elite Women's Scratch Race up next, but first...
We will have the interviews with our 2 Keirin champions.
Alessia McCaig, your 4th Keirin title in a row. How excited are you?
Yeah, I'm stoked. I think 4 in a row is pretty crazy, and yeah, I'm just really happy to pull this one off.
And, I mean, you've had a perfect week here. I know it's finished now. How do you rate it overall? You've come here and achieved everything you wanted to do.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, PB, and yeah, I didn't lose a race this week, so I say that's probably 10 out of 10 week for me.
Did you have to work a little harder than you thought in that, Keirin? There were some challenges. Christina was coming on the hip.
Yeah, I mean, I decided to give a bit of a crack, last race of the week. So, yeah, I decided to leave it all out there, and yeah, I was really happy.
Awesome. And Hoffy, your first Keirin title. Wouldn't have thought that, but been a long time. Worth the wait.
Yeah, definitely. I think I've got a bit of catch up to play to Alessia here, but yeah, Keirin racing, anything can happen. Yeah, in the final drew 6, so I had to really, really dig deep, and yeah, Danny definitely gave it to me.
6, you're probably where you least want to be in a Keirin?
Yeah, definitely. It's a lot of ground to make up for a man that started his career in the gate. So yeah, 1 lap specialist, now 3 laps, give or take.
Awesome. And congratulations. It's been another perfect week for you too, so you stoked?
Yeah, cheers. Thanks for that, Josh.
Thank you.
Two sensational riders there, Lee Hoffman and Alessia McCaig. Both just getting medals now at the highest level as well. So the Olympic rundown is looking really good for them. We've got the Commonwealth Games, of course, to come up in Glasgow at the end of July. World Championships in Shanghai in October. So much to focus for Alessia and Lee.
In 3rd place.
And now the scratch race. What an interesting one this was. Elite Women's Scratch Race. Sophie Edwards with the bronze medal. Clean sweep for South Australia. They did this in the men's sprint as well.
In 2nd place, winner of the silver
Maeve Plouffe picking up the silver medal.
South Australia, Maeve Plouffe.
Second rider to take a lap on the field. Just did it so late in the race she couldn't recover to come up and really contest against Riley McMullen.
Winner of the gold medal and
So good tactics from Riley. South Australian wins her first Australian National Championships in an individual event. She did get gold in the team pursuit alongside Maeve and Sophie, but she's now the Scratch Race National Champion. Gutsy ride, made a commitment, followed it through.
Yeah, really impressive ride from Riley McMullen.
Still scratching our heads over the tactics of the other states. Oh, and that's the face painting we see on the right-hand side, yes?
Indeed.
Well done, Riley. Great ride. Solo lap is so difficult to take, regardless of the speed of the peloton.
Because it didn't happen quickly either, so there were plenty of opportunities when her legs were screaming at her and her lungs to say, oh.
It was a grind.
It was, and she did so well.
Men's scratch race presentation now.
winner of the bronze medal.
Saw Big Brother on the podium just before in the Keirin. Now it's little brother, Oscar Gallagher. Bronze medal in the scratch race.
Little by age, little by size.
Yeah, he's got some speed. He's an endurance athlete, whereas Sam focuses on sprint. And former scratch race champion, Tasmanian, good to see that he's still good enough to be right up at the pointy end. Josh Duffy, hard-fought final lap between him and Noah Blannon, shoulder to shoulder.
Winner of the gold medal and national champion.
But the young Queenslander, Noah Blannon, had just that little bit extra of what was a wonderful lead out by Liam Walsh. Noah Blannon wins the scratch race gold.
And if you've ever looked at cyclists and thought, I wonder if my frame would suit cycling, let this podium be a show that it doesn't really matter. You'll have a place, different attributes.
Tall lad, isn't he, Josh?
He's a strapping young lad. Noah Blannon, just tall and lean. He really is a greyhound. And Oscar Gallagher, very much a pocket rocket.
Well, we can hear now from Riley and Noah, the last champions we get to talk to tonight.
Riley McMullen, a great ride. South Australia were pushing it all the way. How do you feel?
Yeah, pretty good. It's pretty fun racing with the girls, and yeah, I'm really lucky to be surrounded by such a strong team, obviously.
It's been a change in the last 12 months for you. Obviously, former New Zealand rider, and now you've come over to Australia. So, are you happy to be in the yellow sleeves here? It's new.
Yeah, it is new. I actually only got my citizenship in New Zealand when I was 20, so I do feel very tied to Australia, and yeah, it feels like I've come back home, so it's really nice.
Awesome. Loving life, obviously, in Adelaide.
Yeah, it's really great. I love it.
Awesome. Thank you. Congratulations. And Noah, great ride. I know you've had a terrific summer. How great is this?
Yeah, it's pretty good. I think we came in with a good plan with the boys to make the race hard, and I think it went pretty well. So, yeah, I'm stoked with the last few months and today, obviously. So,
That was the tactic for Queensland, just to line it out at any possibility, and I guess try and drop the bigger boys like Tom Cornish.
yeah, pretty much. We wanted a hard race, and it didn't really matter which one of us won, but as long as it was a hard race, I think we had to do that to win. So, yeah, it went to plan, which was nice.
And when Liam really lined it out at the end, was that any word from him or just a head nod?
Yeah, I think we both knew what we had to do, so he sort of I got on his wheel, and I could trust him fully to do a good lead out, and it was pretty good. I tried to come around him pretty early, which may be a mistake by me, but that was so good by him, and yeah, we had full trust in each other.
And more generally, talking about your last 6 months, what do you put it down to, the change in results? Because you've really put yourself at the front of the field now.
Yeah, I think I sort of always known I've had it in me, and I've always trained hard, and I think just got to turn up every day and try to do your best. But I think just a bit older now and a bit more experience, you know how to get through the lows and stuff, and just trust the process. So yeah, I think it's just all come together the last 6 months.
Great. Good to see you out there winning and going really strong. Thank you.
Loves to chat, Noah Blennon. Great to see. Good ride from him, and also congratulations again to Riley McMullen. That does wrap up the 5th night here of the AusCycling Track National Championships in Brisbane. It was a cracking night once again, Kate. We say it all the time, cracking night, yes, but it was. It was just so entertaining, and if we're into the sport and we find it interesting, then surely the people at home must.
Yeah, it was a wonderful night of racing, and tomorrow we've got some more sensational racing, some points racing, some team sprint, and some juniors on again, which is always a really entertaining show.
Absolutely. Stay tuned. Make sure you tune in tomorrow night for the final event, or the final night from Meares Velodrome here in Brisbane at the AusCycling Track National Championships. Good night.
Brisbane to me is just about trying something new.
You've got world-class restaurants, super delicious, lots of flavours.
Everywhere you go, there's great nightlife. It's laid back, and we're just hanging out in the sunshine.
Just walking around and having so much nature is insane to me.
Beautiful sky, beautiful weather. There's so much to do. You'll just never be bored.
I think Brisbane's for anyone. Yeah, whoever.
It's lively, it's fun.
Brisbane definitely favours the bold.
100%.
Yeah.